All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for coming to the stream today. Hey, man. DD Music, welcome to the stream. How you doing? First time seeing you here. Valley, welcome. How you doing? Today we're starting our podcast. It's called Word of Mouth, and we have a very special guest today, and that is Intrepid Fox B, who's also a good friend of mine who I knew before she joined Intrepid Fox. Welcome, Intrepid Fox. How are you doing today?
Huh? Oh, sorry. Good morning. Hi. Hi. I'm pleased to be here. Oh dear, I'm having a great time. What a great start.
Morning.
What a great, yeah. Sorry, my brain is
Everyone, please welcome B into the podcast today. It's her first time and it's my third time,
Hi.
and I'm still nervous. Just
Good morning.
pretend that never happened.
Oh, I hate to hear.
You do know that when I upload these into YouTube and hopefully Spotify soon, because I'm working on Spotify for my project
Yeah.
for my podcasts,
Mhm.
that these are not cut out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Sorry, carry on. Go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Hello. I mean, my name is B. I'm the duelist for Intrepid Fox. I'm a streamer for the Goose House, and I'm a flipping idiot. I don't know if I can swear, but I'm a flipping idiot.
You can swear. You can swear.
Oh dear. But yeah, no, happy to be here.
I'm happy to be here too. I really appreciate it. You know, one thing I want to talk about before anything else happens
Oh
is
god.
how I got you into a podcast, because I
Uh-huh.
was super excited because I was already super excited because I already knew that I was gonna ask you at some point, but not when,
Yeah.
until we were in a Discord call and like you didn't volunteer, but you showed a lot of interest, and then I asked you if you'd be willing to one day,
Yeah.
and then it escalated there, and then I was like, for the rest of the day, I was so happy. I was genuinely so
Oh,
happy,
bless you.
mostly because of her articulate opinions. Like she
My
usually she's
auntie.
always
Someone's
she's
calling
very
me articulate. That's
you're very
crazy.
articulate with your words, B. Like, especially if I'm asking for like opinions on anything, if it's to do with like uh drama or like uh gaming politics or anything like that, you usually like
Yeah.
have a really good insight, and I feel like I can learn a lot from it. But yeah,
Oh, that's what you hear. Thank you.
but yeah. Let's get on with the podcast, and uh let's talk about what the podcast will be about today. Since I want to make it
Get
clear
it?
that this is going to be an
Out.
interview. Pardon?
Get it? What the podcast will be about?
Nice. This podcast is going to be fun.
Do that. Oh, dear.
The,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
pod, guys,
Continue.
the podcast will be less of an interview like last time with Aimstar. It will be more of chit chat and gossip because we have a lot to talk about.
Fine.
And yeah, so uh, first, the first question is, I want you to, since I already know you as a friend, I want you to talk about how you first started going about playing Valorant, how
Okay.
you enjoyed it, and what you didn't like about it.
Okay. So I first found out about Valorant because I was like, I knew obviously Riot Games because I've been playing League since season 2. Since I was like 14, 13, 14, like over 10 years ago. Um, and then I was playing a lot of Rainbow Six because I am terrible at shooting games. But I met some friends and they wanted to play Siege, and I was like, right, I'll play Siege. Why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. Uh, Played Siege for a while, and then I think I saw like a YouTube ad or something
Frosty, thanks for
about
the follow.
Valorant, and I was
Much
like, oh,
appreciated.
this looks
Thank you.
interesting, but like it's very much like CSGO, and I fucking hate CSGO. My brother is my brother's like a quite a big CS:GO player, like global elite or level 10 face or whatever the fuck it is
That's
there now.
crazy.
And he's like competed and things like that, like semi-professional and stuff. Um, and I was like, "Oh god, this sort of game." But it was Riot, so I was like, "Let me give it a go," and I signed up to the beta, and then when the key like, you actually do the Twitch drops, I think that was the first example of Twitch
Mm.
drops, and basically what ended up happening was, I got in with, like, the first couple of hours on the first day, um, and I fell in love with it. I played it so much up until the end of the beta,
How
and
much?
then
How many hours a day?
ooh, well, I was working a full-time j no, I wasn't, because it was lockdown. COVID, shit, yeah, it was the first, lockdown, so I was furloughed, so I wasn't working. So when I tell you it was, like, 10 hours a day, it very
Oh
much was, like, 10
my
hours a day. I'm not
god.
even kidding, like, I wanted to get good at like, I was like, "Oh, I'm so good at this game. I'm just picking
Mm.
Raynor and I'm just running it down," that kinda thing. And then I took a break after the beta, came out
Yeah.
ended, sorry. The beta ended, and I played a lot of Apex Legends. And
All right.
then I came back to Valorant when, OMG Kevs did last year's BAP Invitational in, I think, July time.
Yeah.
And then since then, I've not put the game down, and it's been, like, a year
Oh,
and a bit solid since, I started picking up the game. So it's been a while. It's been a while, so
that's nuts.
yeah.
That was before I knew about Kevs, and
Yeah.
10 hours is a lot of hours.
I mean, it's not like 10 hours, maybe like 6 to 8.
Like a full on like day of gaming.
But, like, on a weekend, it'd be, like, 10 to 12. So, yeah, I didn't have a life, and obviously with lockdown, I'm high risk to COVID and things like that, so I wasn't really going out that much because well, the first lockdown, we weren't even allowed to, other than to walk our dog once a day, or to go shopping, go grocery shopping or whatever. So it was very much like a, "Okay, I'm stuck indoors," sort of thing. What do I do? And I was like, "I don't wanna get bored and do nothing, but I don't wanna play Siege because Siege is mind numbing." Although now Valorant's kinda mind numbing, but it's whatever. Um, so that's kind of how that came about. So, yeah.
That's on repeat 10 hours. Just saying. Holy
Mhm.
shit. The fact that, I also want to talk about how you really enjoyed the game and you chose to play Apex instead.
Mhm.
What made you want to play Apex instead?
So so for me, I am very easily distracted. I need constant mental like, brain stimulation constantly.
Mm.
And the thing is, one thing that I struggled with Valorant is that I just couldn't stop holding W.
Yeah.
So, people say hold an angle, and I'm like, no. I will play Reina and I will run it down an angle. I run it down, and then I'm like, oh, why am I dying? So I saw a content creator doing Apex video called Lulu Lovely, and she's one of my favorite
Mm.
like Apex
She's
creators.
huge.
Yeah, and I remember it was season 5 of Apex. They just released the character Loba.
Yeah.
Any men in the chat
She's
will,
pretty.
who know Apex know
Yeah.
Loba.
Yeah, I know,
Uh,
I know, I know Rio does love, but I know Rio's right here.
uh, and I fell in love with her just as a like a character, like just the storyline and things like that. Like I was super invested.
Mm.
Downloaded the game, and then that was the game that I spent all of my time on. And you thought 6 to 8 hours of Valorant was bad. Oh, Apex, I probably had like well, I know in total I have over 2,000 hours in that. Probably over like maybe like 9 months of playtime and like 2,000 hours. Like that's a lot of hours. Uh, so yeah, Apex really like kind of entertained my kind of easily distracted, constant stimulation necessity because you're always doing something, you're always
Yeah.
holding W.
Yeah.
Whereas in Valorant, I had to train myself to sit there and hold an angle with an operator or sit there and wait for people to come to me rather than me being like,
Mm.
swing. Um,
At the
and
same
even
time, the game like also does favor the aggressor. It does favor the aggressor, but you gotta play the you gotta play your chess pieces right in terms of
yeah,
when to take like when to force someone to take a fight with you, etc.
yeah,
But
yeah.
one one part of the timeline in your Valorant career so far that I do want to skip to since the
Mhm.
since your start of the game is the time where you started playing Valorant again and you like went up for like 4 ranks in like one act.
Uh,
How the hell did
s-
that happen?
So after Kev's Bath Invitational last year, I got like my first like kind of because we had a captain who was immortal, I was silver, and I was just playing I was playing stage, I was just walling whatever was in front of me.
Yeah.
Um, but I genuinely was like, this is a lot of fun, and I really enjoy like more higher level kind of play because it's like a lot more strategic and
Mm.
things like that. So I really try my best to get better at it. So I managed to climb from silver to diamond in a single episode, so across, like, 3 to 4 months, I'd climbed from silver 1 to diamond 2? Diamond 1 or diamond 2,
That's
um, in 3 to 4 months, yeah,
insane.
which was huge, and I played a lot of, 5 stacks of friends who were similar ranks to me up until, like, low plat,
Yeah.
and then I started doing the duos, the trios.
Mm.
And things like that, got more comfortable. Um, and that was like my biggest kind of jump. Um, I got hard stuck diamond for quite a bit, for quite a long time. I got to the end of one episode, just before Neon came out, so the start of this year. The episode ended, and I made it to Diamond 3 99 RR. So I was 1 RR point off Immortal for the episode, and I was so livid that I didn't
User
reach it, and
disconnected
I
from
was
your channel.
that was probably my,
Disconnected
like,
from your
most
channel.
annoying thing. But yeah, and then obviously I
Disconnected.
hit Immortal last act, for the first time, and then I hit Immortal this act, although I say hit Immortal, I, like, kind of flirted with it a little bit, uh, flirted with it a few times, it was one of those things where it's like, "Oh, got my
I
first
didn't
little
mean to
kind
laugh
of
at that.
taste, lost it," was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, look, come back for more," lost it again.
Everyone goes through that though.
Like the speaking stage, like the talking stage, like you're interested, but you're not really you're
Yeah,
not really
yeah.
fully
Like you shy
like commitment.
away.
I have a commitment issue with Immortal.
It's like a secondary school thing where the boy goes up to the girl she has an interest in, and you be like, "Hi, I think you're cute."
Yeah.
Runs away, runs away.
Yeah.
He just runs away, and then finds her back 2 weeks later, not interested. But
Yeah.
you
It's
get
yeah, it's it's quite entertaining. Flirt is the term I use a lot because I think it just is quite a funny term. And yeah, so I am hard stuck ass too, which is fine. I don't mind being the middle of ascendant. If I was like hard stuck ascendant 1, I'd be
especially
a little bit more
if
annoyed.
I think that's completely fine, especially if you're
Mhm.
competing and you're in a team, you're in
Yeah,
an
I'm
org.
so excited for that.
So like rank, which we'll talk about later. We will talk about afterwards. But
Yeah.
if you're a player competing, rank does not matter at all. You're always encouraged to like get continue getting experiences by playing the game
No,
competitively.
exactly.
But yeah,
Yeah, it's yeah, so it's kind of like my journey in terms of rank. So I went obviously, like I said, from silver to diamond in about 3 months, and then I was diamond for a few more months, and then I've been immortal ascendant this past act. So improving.
very improving. Improvement 100
Yeah,
right here.
exactly. Try my best. Try my
My
best.
babushka told me not to brag. For
Um,
this I make an exception. My babushka told
List
me not to brag.
MTG
For
Kurt
this I make
to
an exception.
Kurt 2022. Thank you
Hmm.
for the follow. I appreciate it. Uh, so the next thing I want to talk about is
My
more
babushka told
deeply
me
into
not to
your
brag.
introduction,
For this I make an
Okay.
exception.
but around not just your gaming but your streaming, because I'm pretty sure everyone here knows. Everyone here is a mutual between us that
Yeah.
they know you're a streamer and you're a great streamer at that, and you pop so many numbers. Your editing, your Twitter clips, they're funny. They're even cracked as well most of the times. Uh, but yeah, take the stage, take the mic.
So so I've been streaming for so I've been an affiliate for years, like 4 to 5 years, because I used to stream an MMO. I say used to stream. I streamed it for about a month and was like, "Oh my god, I could do this for a living." For, like a
Yeah,
1v or Andy, which is like, the start of it.
yeah.
Took a huge break because MMOs and I have a complicated relationship, especially with spending money. So I started streaming again when I started getting into Apex, just because I realized that just from playing, like, I naturally am very like I say the first thing that comes to my mind. I think that might be because of my like need for brain distraction and stimulation. So I will just I y- people who have played games with me know that you know, I jump at things, I scream at things, I shout obscenities, I, you know, do a whole bunch of stuff and things
I
like
think that's
that.
good.
And people were, you know, like, "Oh, B, why don't you try streaming?" And I was like, "Okay." So I did a bit of Apex, I did a little bit of Among Us, and it was like, had fun and stuff. But then when I started getting more involved with a few streamer communities, I realized, okay, I can maybe do something with this and like make people kind of laugh. Because playing games is for me has always been entertainment first, you know, like getting good second.
Yeah.
So I'm not somebody that tilts easy. I tilt more if people around me are tilting. So I just, you know, if I lose a ranked game, oh, I've got, you know, 2 weeks to get that RR back. It's 16 RR. It's not going to kill me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So with streaming, I didn't really pick it up properly again until the start of this year. I did stream here and there for a while last year, obviously when I started getting to Valorant, but this year is when I started taking it more seriously. After I left a stressful job, and then maybe in the past, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, it's been really uphill. I hit, you know, both my 500 and 1,000 follower marks within the past, like, um, you know, 7 months, which was crazy to me. I raised over £800 for a charity stream for the homeless youth.
Oh
Um
my God.
which was a huge thing for me, because homeless youth and homelessness is a huge thing for my family and I. Without going into too much detail, you
No,
know,
of
we have our
course.
fair share of experience with homelessness.
So
So it was very
what?
much like, mhm,
So
yeah.
what was the stream about?
It was like a charity stream. It was mainly Valorant, but we did play Outlast, we played Phasmophobia, and certain things would unlock certain challenges and things like that. I still have a couple of challenges I need to do,
Yeah.
but my computer's had a little bit of an issue, so I still have to do a singing stream.
Oh
I'm doing a drunk stream soon,
my
but I haven't
God.
decided when.
Is Tian and
Um,
Salbanara here?
uh, so it's been it's been kind of like, and I've like slowly been singing a lot more on stream to kind of get used to it because I grew up performing, but
That's
you know, the
great.
performing arts, performing, dance, things like that. But with kind of singing, it's very much like that's a personal thing because like people say I can sing, or people say, you know, you've got a good voice and things, and I'm like, this is something that I used to get bullied for and things like that. So it's, you know, one of those things. But with streaming, I joined the Goose House as a streamer, which was huge.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's great.
Huge opportunity. I've had the amazing and blessed opportunity to meet so many new people. You know, some of my favorite human beings that I love playing with now. A couple of people who are a bit more known in the community, but I don't really want to name drop.
No, we can talk about the
Okay.
good things, like the sponsors that they give you.
Yeah, exactly. And you
That's
know,
pretty
through
lit. Like,
so with
all the
you know,
caffeine
with
and
yeah, oh my god, don't even. So with the Goose House, you know, it's I get sent free Red Bull, which is amazing. And Red Bull has been so nice to me. The Goose House has been lovely to me.
that's
With
amazing.
with IF, you know, there's, you know, Monster, Puma,
For real?
Logitech. Yeah, yeah.
What?
So it's yeah, and then obviously, yeah, more recently with streaming, I've just been growing a lot and my viewership and things like that. I don't care much about viewers,
Mm,
but
mm.
not as in like the viewer number, not my viewers.
I hear that. I
But
hear that.
it's been really nice, and like it's one of those things where I wanted it to be something that I can like potentially do as a part-time thing. At some point, you know, when because I love making people laugh, I love making people smile and things like that. Um, and you know, it's been really nice. I've met so many lovely humans. I've met some not so lovely humans, but you know, at the end of the day, that just comes with any kind of industry. But I'm very lucky to have made the progress that I've made. I have a real issue with my, like, view of myself and things like that. Um, when it comes to streaming, appearance, mental health, things like that.
My babushka
Uh,
told me not to
but
brag, but for
streaming
this
has
I
been, like,
make
a
an exception.
huge,
My babushka told me not to
like,
brag, but for this I make an
thing for me
exception.
when it comes to kind of, being happier with
Especially,
what I put out and what I
yeah,
provide, so
I agree. I feel the same way, especially when you get first-hand feedback and first-hand rewards
Mhm,
by people
definitely.
who enjoy the stream, it makes you want to come back and do it again for them. Like most of the reason why I stream is for the people, and they come here to have a good time. So I come here to have a good time with them as well. So I show them
Exactly.
what I can do to give them a good time. Like that's sort of, it's that sort
Exactly.
of give and take there, which makes it
And
all the more really fun.
I had a conversation with a friend of mine about streaming, and one of the things that they said to me was, the way that I am on stream is pretty much the same way I am when I'm off stream when it comes to playing games and
That
things.
is amazing. That's hard to. That's so hard to do. There's so many people out there who can't do that or don't want to do that.
I love being around people that make, that provide positive things to my life.
Yeah.
And my experiences and things, people that make me happy, people that I can have a laugh with. I'm very lucky, I think, in the sense that I can adapt my vibe to fit whoever I'm around.
Yeah.
So if it's like a chill environment, then I can be chill. If it's like a super over the top and like
overexciting.
Overexcited, like I
Yeah.
can do that as well. I can match my energy to fit. Obviously, there are times
Yeah.
where maybe I'm not in the best of moods,
Mm.
and I'll like kind of communicate that, but not in like I would not consider myself a mean person. I'm very much I will banter with you left, right, and center.
No, like
But I'm not someone with
everyone
like I'm not mean
has
spirited.
their own stages of emotion. Like someone can't be happy and someone can't be overexcited every single stream unless you're ISO speed. I don't know what he's on, but yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy. But your stream is amazing to watch.
But
It's very exciting.
yeah,
I don't know how
appreciate
I don't
it.
know how you think of funny things every single time on the fly.
It's not even like me being like, okay, what's gonna be funny to the people that watch me? I'm literally just like, well, what entertains me? Like, what do I find funny?
Okay, I hear you.
So,
For me, I
yeah,
think about what people will find funny, and then I try and make the most out of that.
yeah, and people are different and stuff, but kind of what you see on stream is what you get. And
Yeah.
that's just me. I will make this. I think it's one of the reasons why I like when I do customs and things. I like that it's a push to talk, because if I'm in a Discord call, you will hear every little bit.
I feel like push to talk is better if you're streaming, but
I think it depends on who you're around. I think if you're with other streamers who are streaming at the same time, yes,
yeah. But if there's like the customs that we normally do, there's usually 2 or more streamers. Normally we do Discords, but if it's gonna be the BAP Invitational, most of them are gonna be streamed. Most of the players are gonna be streamed. They're gonna have to maybe push the talk, or maybe I'm not sure. All right. I think it's about time we answer some questions. We do have a few interesting questions stocked up, so let's start from there. Halo's new to the stream. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining. I know you're a close friend to Leon Noxias. Your first question is, do you guys listen to Drain Gang? No, I've never heard of it.
Drain Gang.
No.
I have heard of them, but I've not listened to their music.
What kind of what genre is it?
Isn't it like I don't know. I actually don't know that kind of genre. Maybe like I don't know. I don't want to say anything wrong, so but no,
Okay.
I never really I've heard of them but never listened to them.
All right, interesting. Personally, for me, if it's music, if this is music, if it's not R&B or hip hop or like any good pop or rap, like some hip hop. No, a lot of hip hop. There's a difference between like rap and hip hop, but if there's not R&B and hip hop, then I don't want it. For now.
If you've ever been to my streams, the music that I tend to listen to is 2000s music.
For me, it's mostly R&B.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I'll listen to most things, just not necessarily kind of go out of my way to find new artists, if that makes sense. So,
I hear you.
Yeah.
Tyson also said, would you guys agree that Kanye West is the greatest artist of all time? I think Kanye West is one of the most famous artists in terms of like what he's done.
I like some of his
I like a lot of his music, but this guy,
I love
he's
his
a
music.
character.
I do not agree with the way he carries himself outside of music.
His character is wild.
But obviously, you know, from what I have seen myself, it's not something that like because of that, I wouldn't necessarily actively go out and listen to new music. I love some of his older stuff, and it's in part of my playlists.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go out, but because of the way that you know, the only way that I see him now is through those really awful
He's a meme to
displays
me, man.
and
I love his memes. I love the memes they make of him, honestly.
yeah.
I like some of the Gaga songs. What the fuck does she have to do about cameras? Like, it's stuff like that. I don't know. The guy's a character of his own. But
definitely.
next question is, did you ever play Face It?
No.
Neither have I. I haven't played Face It. I've never played CS.
I played CS a little bit with some of my friends like 6 months ago, I guess. I've got like 20 to 30 hours in that game now, but like
Okay.
I haven't got a clue. Absolutely haven't got. Let me have a look. I've got 14 hours. Never mind, I lied. 14 hours in CSGO.
There you have it. Yes, 14 hours compared to Valorant.
We don't want to talk about how many hours I've got Valorant. I refuse. I plead the fifth.
I have
I think I added it all up the other day.
I have 433 account levels worth of hours.
Oh yeah, you played it a lot more than I have. Yeah, you've got no life.
Yeah.
I think I played like 1,300 hours of Valorant. Yeah.
That's quite a lot still.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very worth right now for you especially.
Yeah.
Next one is, do you guys feel the heat? Does everyone feel the heat?
We all feel the heat.
Except for you. Because you already have your own org.
Yeah, I have my own org. You know, Fox Army and all that.
Oh, I'm just saying, wait, we are missing a female team of our own.
That's crazy.
I'm just gonna leave the option open to you. The door's open. I'm just saying.
What?
You heard it here first, guys.
You can't do that. Oh dear.
No, I can do that, but you can't do that.
Yeah,
when the questions going to be answered, the podcast questions, they normally, I like to always answer them after every topic that we talk about, not mid topic or like mid speaking or whatever, because I don't want to disrupt the flow. Because I want to have it set up in a way where I'd share time where we talk to the chat, talk to you guys, part of the stream, and the other main section will be the podcast between us two. That's mainly why I'm streaming it live rather than doing it only on Spotify right now, which will be on Spotify soon. I'm working on it. Our next question: opinion on DG hates. You have a question. Opinion on NonNom Camo. I've seen his name before on Twitter. Actually, I'm not sure what it's about. I've never met him or spoken to him before, but I've seen his name on Twitter. I know he's a Valorant player, right? Nom Camo. I feel like I'm getting something crazy. Is this safe?
I have someone. Well, I have a Twitter friend who's in Nom. I'm assuming for the female team, but I don't know. I don't know much about NonNom Camo. So
is he? I'm not seeing anything right now.
I have the Twitter open, but I don't know anything about them. So we had a controversy. Apparently.
Oh, okay. If it's anything to do with cancel, like him being cancelled or whatever. No, most of the stuff I'm seeing isn't in English, so I can't read it. That's fine. I'm sorry I can't answer your question. He had a controversy. All right. B, do you want us to talk about someone else's controversy? Or
someone else's controversy?
Because I don't know this guy really. I don't know this guy, so I don't know who's been affected or any of the or what the drama's about. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Unfortunately, I can't answer that question for you. Sorry, DG8. If you have a question relating to the topic, guys, please don't be afraid, and we'll get to it. What's your warm up routine? Do you use aim trainers, B?
Okay, so I will tell you that because of like I work a full-time job outside of gaming and things like that,
Oh, that's hard.
especially with the most recent job I've had. Well, yeah, so I'd have work, I'd then try and stream for a few hours, then I'd have scrims, and then I'd want to play, with my other friends. I'm not someone who has a lot of time, which is really hard.
That's hard.
So with warm-up routines and aim trainers. So only recently I've started actually warming up. My coach from my team actually said that I need to do a warm-up before scrims, so did my captain. Um, because I don't warm up. It's awful because I would go halfway into a game and then I'd be warmed up. So the first half of the game, I'm literally trolling, which maybe is the reason I play Sage, is just because I have to put a wall up and just sit there with my heel out. But yeah, so I warm up now. I usually warm up for about 30 minutes, really, because I get really bored easily. I will sit in the range and then I'll do a deathmatch or two. The range is more kind of because a lot of my I know I've identified already a lot of my weaknesses, so
That's good.
that's
That's really,
so
really good.
yeah. And obviously I've got a few people that I need to record VODs for who are going to VOD review me, things like that. But I do a lot of, different things. So, for example, I realized like a week ago, because of my friend, Shalenberg, he noticed that my sense is higher than what I'm
Shout
kind
out
of
to
comfortable
Charlene,
on.
bro. I love Eric so much.
I love Eric so much. He's such a nice guy, and he instructed me to kind of lower my sense. And already I'm seeing a lot of improvements because I'm not over flicking. In my mind, I've always been like a high sense person because of Apex.
Mm.
When you've got a higher sense, it's easier because you're constantly 180ing. It's not micro adjustments like it
Yeah,
is
it's
in
a fast paced
Valorant.
game.
Whereas in Valorant, it's micro adjustments, so you don't necessarily need a higher sense and things like that. So,
Yeah.
but I usually spend 20 minutes in the range and then 1 or 2 death matches. That's
For,
kind of
for me,
how I warm up for comp. If I warm up for scrims, I usually throw in an extra half an hour into that, which will include like Kovacs or AMAB.
for me, my routine is kind of hardcore, but it's usually it's usual that I do it with Aimstar. I do a routine with Aimstar in the
He's
morning.
insane at the game.
Yeah. He's not where he wants to be yet, but
Yeah,
yeah.
he's taken my head off plenty of times. Fucking hell.
Basically, I wake up in the morning at like 7 to 6 a.m. This has been going on for like the past while, really. So we wake up, go do our range stuff, aim routine at the range, warm up, etc. And then we do 5 Vandal death matches together, 5 Phantom death matches together, and then one Sheriff only, and then we just hit ranked. And then once we're done with that, like once we play a couple ranked games, we go about our day, our separate ways, and then yeah, and then the next morning goes again. Next morning goes again. Next morning goes again. That's our routine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it goes.
If I had more time, I would say I probably would spend more time doing warm-ups and stuff. I think when I go, because I moved to university as well in 3 weeks.
Oh, good luck on that.
Yeah, which is, it's the same weekend as one of my tournaments as well.
Okay. Is it?
So it's been we can talk about it a little bit later when one of the questions, but with that, it's when I go to uni, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll have a bit more time, because the timetable isn't gonna be as strict as say a full-time job.
All
So
right.
I have a bit more time to kind of focus
Yeah,
and kind of improve and
that's
stuff.
good.
So
A lot
and
of.
time for Inari, that is very true. Time for Inari because Inari is a needy bitch.
Please, I need you. I need attention. Where's my mommy?
Oh, bless him.
The next question from Nuxias is: what is the highest rank B has reached in Valorant? What is your peak?
My my peak rank, sadly, for me, is Immortal 1. I was very close to Immortal 2, but I didn't quite make it. But I think that there's a reason for that. I don't think I'm necessarily there's a lot of weaknesses I think that I noticed in the way that I play and things like that. So working on it. So for example, my biggest issue right now is game sense, and not necessarily game sense, but more kind of, for example, util usage. So I think my natural aim is pretty good, but I put myself in really silly situations or I overpeak and things like that. So it's little things that will improve, and things that that I need to work on. I don't want to be one of those all aim no brain Reina mains. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
So,
the bars. I like
the ones
that.
that are just comfortable, just running it
Yeah,
down.
yeah. Like
Yeah. So for
100%.
example,
Match
Eric was like,
MVP.
like I'm
Match
overheating.
MVP.
I have people regularly tell me I'm overheating and things. I think that with my sensitivity change, um my natural kind of pre-aim crosshair placement is
Yeah.
pretty good. My movement's pretty good. But I make maybe sillier decisions in the moment, or I freak out, and also my confidence is also a huge thing. I beat myself up, I think, way too much, and I put myself in really bad mental states when it comes to this game because I want to be so much better than I think I am.
I really like how
Uh,
you're already aware, and you can already
yeah.
identify what you feel like you're lacking on.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why I love playing with the people that I've been playing with lately.
And that's I think that's one major reason why you're signed, actually. That's a huge thing.
Yeah, and like someone will tell me, I'm not someone who will, especially in a not necessarily a team environment, but in a group where someone's like, "You should have done this," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, I should have. I'll try. I'll try and keep that in mind. I won't be like, oh, I did that because this. I won't make excuses. Um, but I think my biggest hurdle is confidence at the moment. It's like believing in myself a bit more.
I see.
I think it's been a bit worse since joining a team because I put way too much pressure on myself. I feel like because I'm on a team, I have to do good in every single game I'm in. And
I
that
think
isn't necessarily the case. And I
yeah.
think because of I have, people that have seen my Twitter, have seen my Twit longer and stuff like that. I have really bad anxiety. So that coupled with my own concerns with wanting to, wanting to be the best,
Yeah.
that I can be, uh, can sometimes snowball into a really negative headspace for me sometimes. And that's one of the reasons why the people that I play with, aren't necessarily, so for example, I play with, Lifnix, Shallenberg, like
Shout outs
I
to
I
Flix and
have made it
Shaolin.
clear to those humans that like who are a lot higher rank than me and a lot better than me, except for that one custom Eric where I diffed you on Viper. But it's more like I don't want them to super try hard because in the end I don't want to get boosted to a rank that I don't belong in. That's one of the reasons why I didn't do a queue with immortal players when I got to immortal for the first time because it
Yeah.
was very much like I want to get here of my own accord and my own ability,
Yeah.
and I want to be able to hold my own. I don't want to be
It's
that 3 and 20 sage every single game.
I just wanna stop you there. Um when you were talking about uh you dealing with pressure on your team,
Hmm.
I kind of want to stress that it's not supposed to be your own pressure, since you're in a team with your teammates. It's supposed to be
Hmm.
shared in equals, and
Yeah.
the distribution of the responsibility should be all around. Especially even
Yeah.
if you have your own role, I really feel like I'm not talking as like a coach perspective or anything like that. I'm talking about like being in a team. If if you feel like you have a lot of responsibility, it's supposed to be shared, so it should be lighter for you, so everyone else can have 25% each, and you like your own teammates will lift a lot off your shoulders. You will genuinely love it. You genuinely love it.
Yeah. I think for me, I want to just quickly stress that it isn't because of like my team or anything like that. It's my own pressure on myself because I'm now in a team. I am signed. I essentially, without disclosing too much, I do get paid to play the game now. Um, it's very much like uh, I don't want to kind of I feel like I should be performing well in comp games all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you
Not
can't.
not not pressure on my teammates taking me any pressure, anything
I
like that.
understand I understand how you think about that. It gives you more of a reason to be more sweaty at the game, but it's all a process, really. Go for it. Go for it. Go off queen and go kill
Yeah.
ranked players. Ranked equals go kill.
Yeah. Mhm.
But let's move on to the next question.
Yeah.
I want you to name 5 people who you enjoy playing with and why.
Okay. That I enjoy playing with. Okay, so I'm gonna tailor. I've spoken to you about this before, then, but I'm gonna
Yeah,
tailor this
yeah.
more. It's less. It's not necessarily I enjoy playing with, but have been very influential in my streaming and Valorant journey. So the first one is one of my close friends of her name's Stefarina. She's partnered Twitch streamer. She hasn't streamed properly in a very long time because she's been so busy with her not a new job anymore. She's been in it for like 9 months now.
Wow.
But she was the first community in Valorant that I came to. And it's where I've met people like Kevs and people like that. That community was one of the best communities that I can ever. That's the community, like a community I aspire to like create. Everyone was super friendly, super fun, super loving, and we played a lot together. And she's also someone I can call, like personally, now that we're at that level in our friendship. That if we have any issues, if we have girl issues, or boy issues, you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Quote unquote girl problems about boys, things like that.
Okay.
Or anything really. Um, She's one of my favorite human beings in the world, and I believe she's competing in the BAP Invitational next week. So,
She's isn't she?
yeah,
That's where I
and
heard her name from.
she is one of my favorite humans.
I like that.
Yeah. And the second one is OMG Kevs. Very similar to Stefarine in the sense that he's got a very welcoming community, but because of who he is as a streamer, he inspires me to work very hard at what I enjoy and what I love doing. You can tell from everything that he does that he absolutely adores what he does. He
Yeah,
loves
for
every
sure.
step of it. And that's something that I really want to kind of, I do love streaming when I'm in, the good headspace too. There's so much I want to do. I love gaming. I love spending time with people. I love making people happy. Um, so he's definitely one of my biggest inspirations when it comes to streaming. And then the third one is someone who I've met very recently. I've known her for a long time, for years. She's just celebrated 7 years of streaming. Her name is Kay Wordley. She's a streamer. She streams a lot of Valorant, but she also streams things like Sims and that new cat game Stray. One
Yeah,
of the
apparently that's really,
kindest,
really good.
yeah, one of the kindest streamers, and she's so similar to me, and we have such a very similar vibe. Um, and I met her within the past like month or two, and we've clicked so well. Absolutely love her. I love her to bits. Um, she's plat, so I Smurf with I do play on Smurfs to play with her, but it's one of those things where it's like we have the funnest time. We just mess around,
Mm.
and we're really stupid. And she's been a content creator she's a full-time content creator. She actually lives near where I'm going to university, so we're going to meet up for the
You're gonna
first
see
time.
her.
Yeah, we've got plans to meet up and things like that. So and she's fucking stunning. Also, one of my favorite humans to look at.
I hope she sees
Um,
this.
and she we she's one of my favorite humans. And again, an inspiration because she's able to do it full time. She's such a lovely human, and yeah, she means a lot to me. The
Wow.
fourth one is
What a lineup already.
another BAP Invitational competitor,
All right.
and that is Elfinly, Ash. She's a streamer for the Goose House. She's
Oh.
one of my closest friends at the moment, and the Valorant scene especially. And she has probably provided she's made me such a better person. With the friends that she has, the community she has. She's actually someone who vouched for me for the Goose House,
Mm.
and things like that. So it's she God, I hate doing this because I do not cry and I will get emotional talking about her because she means the world to me. Um, and she's one of my favorite humans. So yeah, I'm gonna stop there.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Isn't she the Omen main?
She's the Omen main and she's fucking cracked.
That's crazy.
She deserves to be so much higher rank than she is, and she's a really good IGL as well. She knows the game mechanics.
Oh, she
Um,
competes.
she doesn't compete, I don't know, but she's like she'll IGL 4 when we like 5 stack and things like that. She
All
is like
right. That's
a really
amazing.
good IGL. I love her to bits.
She's got a good head on
Um,
her shoulders.
Very much so.
Mm.
And the fifth is our old BAP Invitational teammate, Bella Zena. She was actually one of my first friends in the
Really?
streaming space when I
That's a
first
new
started playing
one. I never heard
Apex,
of that
and
one.
yeah, and she's a person that I can trust with absolutely anything. She's yeah, we didn't really speak much because she doesn't really play Valorant that much, but
Apex
she's someone
gamer.
that she's a insane Apex gamer. She taught me how to play Apex actually. And she's one of those people where if I have an issue, no matter what, I can go to her and I trust her with absolutely everything.
That's a really good list you have there.
I
Holy,
have some honorable
so
mentions,
influential.
like Naduri, Inari, all those, but yeah.
Nah, there's nothing I've done to amount to what your friends in your list have done. So not yet, that is. But
I've met a lot of new people, and a lot of people recently, and there are other people like for example Elaine and Jordan and people like that.
They're just really good. They're just really good friends, really good streamers.
Who have provided so much to me in terms of
one chat message just spooked me. There's a fox in the goose house.
Yeah, there's a fox in the
That's
goose
what
house.
I just realized. Imagine a fox in the goose house.
Yeah, it's but yeah, so those are the 5 that like if you were to get me to sit down and choose, not necessarily who I love playing with, but also who inspire me and give me more fulfillment than just
it was meant to be updated.
like a person to play games with. Like they give me a lot more fulfillment, and so that's kind of how it be.
Haha, it's how it be.
Oh,
What
you're
it
so
do
funny.
is, yo, what's going on, guys? What it do? What it do? You get it? What it do? No. Okay. Podcast question. From NugCS. What are your future educational goals, like youth, university, etc.? Is that something you want to answer?
Yeah, I don't mind. So I am currently going into my second year of a business management with accounting and finance degree.
Okay.
So someone like me, I am 24, so I'm going into my second year. So it's I'm a mature student technically. I'm old. I'm older than like the typical 18, 19-year-olds that go to uni. But with the whole kind of with life, and because it costs so much to go to uni, I didn't want to waste money doing something I didn't want to do. So I spent a few years doing a lot of different jobs. So I've worked in the charity sector, I've worked in high level finance, I worked in high level business development, marketing, HR, recruitment, like so many different industries to figure out what I wanted to do. And then because of my stimulation requirements in terms of being mentally stimulated, that sounds so odd and sounds so bad if you take it out of context. But
I'm back.
I wanted to kind of be in like I wanted something that I can kind of dip my toe into so many different things. So I want to go into management, but I want to marry that with the gaming esports industry.
Sorry, did you say I want to dip my tongue in so many different things?
Dip my toe.
Okay.
Like the phrase is like put your fingers in so many pies. Like
I had tongue.
Yeah, of course. No, dip my toe into loads of different places. It's more like I want to be involved with HR, involved with finance, involved with business development, involved with those different industries, those are different departments within one company in more of a management perspective, because I feel like if I have constant stimulation with different types of departments, that is more fulfilling for me. I'm not someone who can enjoy sitting there, especially in a work environment, and do the same kind of thing every day.
Yeah, I hear you.
That isn't me. It's the job I'm doing right now, just to
You
pay
need
the bills.
mental stimulation and arousal. You know what I'm saying? But,
I'm not saying I want to be aroused by my work. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I need to be aroused by my work.
Fun fact: I used to work in HR as well, which is really interesting. But the fact that you're studying these type of courses are really, really, really good, because these are sort of skills that you can transfer back to your the platform and product that you have right now.
Exactly what I'm learning and things like that. I've always said that I don't think I would want to be a full-time streamer, or a full-time a professional player for very long. Like if I was to be like go further past my time with IF, or if my IF contract was to be extended and things like that. Because am not always comfortable being in front of the camera, or like obviously I don't stream a camera, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
In
I
front of
get
the
you.
lens, I'm a very comedic person. I'm very, I'm a very performance heavy person.
Yeah.
But it's not something I feel like I could do full time. So doing something behind the scenes in esports or gaming, from a business and a more management perspective, suits my comfortability a lot more.
I just think you're talented. What the hell? You're doing everything so great.
Trust me, behind the scenes, obviously, anyone that, like I said earlier, anyone that's read like my tweet longer and things like that, understand that I, have a lot of mental health issues
Yeah.
and experiences and things, and a lot of people do. But I really enjoy challenging myself and doing new things,
And you have my utmost respect for that.
and that's something I kind of want to keep going. But yeah, so that's kind of what I want to do after university, is hopefully get into the gaming and esports industry in terms of more of a behind the scenes business perspective.
Really?
So,
That's really smart, actually. Holy.
when I go back to uni, I'm gonna be I'll be the president of the esports society for that university.
She wants to be the money bag holder for Riot Games.
Not like the money bag holder, but like I don't know. I want to be a part of something.
Yeah. Like make your mark and do something great,
Sorry.
which you're more than capable of.
Yeah.
Which I respect. That's crazy. That's actually so crazy. You have a different way of thinking than a lot of players and a lot of people who are into gaming. And I really like that.
I'm a very old human.
No, you're not. You're 24. You're barely a quarter of 100 years.
I'm basically a fossil at this point,
Fossil how?
There was one of the tournaments the Goose House hosted.
How many white hairs do you have? Did your ankle make crack noises when you go up the stairs? No.
No.
Exactly.
But like the Goose House did a Boomers versus Zoomers tournament a few months ago, and it classed like a 25-year-old as a boomer, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's because you don't have enough boomers, real boomers.
Like shit, 25 is a boomer. Fuck.
In their perspective, like it's not definition. So
yeah, no,
yeah. You're not a boomer. You're not old. Next question. Wait, do you get offended when if someone calls you old?
No. At the end of the day, like I know I'm not actually old.
You're not actually old.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next question from I think in Nari asked the question. Redeem the question. Oh, it's a misclick. Alright, no worries. Halo. Do you guys love animals such as me? As such as me? Do you guys love animals as much as me? Yes, I do. I think B's a very animal person as well.
I love animals. Because they can't really talk back to you. And B, I don't know, I think animals are very aware, like just naturally, because animal instincts, they can't communicate. So they pick up on emotions a lot easier than humans. I would say for me, I couldn't, because I've grown up with a lot of, like, for example, cats. I could never have a cat again.
Okay.
I've had 11 cats growing up, but no thank you.
I've had 4.
Well, my cat decided it wanted to get pregnant twice, so.
Okay. It's in love.
But I love dogs. I absolutely love dogs.
You love dogs?
But I don't think I could have one for a very long time, just because I'm one of those people that I wouldn't want to get a dog just for the sake of having a dog. I want to make sure that they are able to be, catered for and loved and treated right.
Yeah.
For example, one of my favorite dog breeds is a husky. But with the career I want and with, the way that I live my life, I couldn't get a husky because I know the exercise requirements that are required for it. I wouldn't be able to provide what it needs to be a healthy, healthy dog from, yes, okay, oh my God, it's so pretty to look at and things. But if I'm not able to give, my pet, the dog, what it needs to be a healthy dog, then I'm not gonna get one. It's like this is a big topic that I'm going into, but like people that might have, children and things like that that might not be able to necessarily cater for. Like, that's one of the reasons I don't think I'd ever want to have like a child for a very long time because I
Yeah.
don't think I think I'm a bit too selfish for that because I'm so career driven.
Okay.
And I don't think I would be able to have a child for a while, because of that. I don't want to put, I don't want to, you know,
I
I want
mean,
it.
with
I
these
want who, like
things,
any kind of person that I bring into the world or any kind of animal that I help
yeah.
raise. It's, it's one of those like, I want them to be able to have the best life that they can for, if they're an animal, if they're a child, whatever.
Yeah, I
But because of
respect
who I
that.
am as a person, if I was to say have a child, next year, for example,
Yeah.
I'm way too selfish and way too career driven that I would, that I don't think I would be able to provide what they need. That kind of thing. That's my thought process.
I understand.
So
That's I mean, that's a very thoughtful way of going about it.
Mhm.
You don't want to risk a child's life or an animal's life
yeah.
and at their expense. I mean, I mean, how I've grown up. I've been taught that no matter what your decisions are before you're even close to a stage where you want children, your opinion will always change after you do get
Oh
married
yeah.
in your choice.
Yeah, of course.
But that's why I don't really answer people when they tell me how many kids do I want or like what's your type or whatever, or who do you want to get what's your type in terms of
Yeah.
women. But
Yeah.
that's because I'm never really sure like who I'm going to marry or like the type of
Yeah.
person I'm going to end up being with or
Mhm.
how many kids will end up deciding there and then, because I can't really, unless you work towards it in a direct route, you can't predict what will happen to you in the future in terms of like where you'll be. So you just gotta do your best in the very moment
Yeah.
onwards. But for me, I love cats. I find kittens way cuter. They're very sociable. I love social animals.
I love Discord kittens.
I love Discord kittens. What? That went left. You guys know what to hit if you're looking to be someone's Discord kitten.
No.
You can link it. Go on to chat and type in the exclamation word Discord, guys. In terms of dogs, I don't mind dogs, but I like certain species. So like Shiba Inu, is that how you pronounce it? And huskies.
Yeah.
I find them really cute. And I feel like they're very kind animals.
No,
Shiba
I'm
Inu,
such
yeah.
a dog. I'm such a dog lover. I love dogs.
But I feel like cats can take care of themselves a lot more. As someone who spend most of the time taking care of themselves, like I do, it'll be hard for me at this stage to have a cat.
Yeah.
But
No, I get that.
I mean, I could get a cat if I move out one day this year, maybe next year.
One day.
It'll be lit. It'll be lit for the stream. I can't scroll up to the chat. Oh, there we go. Next, that was a good question. Thank you very much, Halo. Next redeemed question from Noxias. Can you explain further if that was towards the future educational goals? I think she went in depth.
No, it was to do with a joke that you made.
Oh,
it's not a serious
about
question.
the tongue. About the tongue.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I don't remember exactly.
Inari came up with a question. This is pretty interesting. Questions for both of us regarding the game. How do you deal with issues regarding confidence and believing in yourself? For me, how I deal with issues regarding confidence is if it's in game, now that I don't really have confidence issues anymore, I used to just go around, I used to ask for advice or work on my mistakes. But there'll be bad habits I have. I used to have some bad habits. I can't lie, to be honest with you. I used to watch a lot of like pro players. I love watching like some CS etc. And I just do exactly the same thing they do in ranked, but I know it's completely different. And it'll just give me the confidence. If I'm watching like an insane compilation on Jorso, it just boosts my confidence up more. And normally every day when I'm grinding ranked or whatever, I always watch my own clips just to boost my self confidence and see where I'm at. I woke up and be like, oh shit, damn, I hit that. I feel good today, or something like that. But I don't really rely on that anymore because I feel confident in myself, and I know when and when not to try, especially when I'm in customs. I don't put much confidence in that. I just go for the fun and go for the memes, etc.
Yeah, of course.
I put everything into making myself and my teammates laugh, and the other people on the other team as well, which is what I love. How about you?
I think for me, someone who has a lot of issues with believing in themselves a lot, growing up or, in gaming. I went through I went through a mental slump in terms of this game, like last week and the week before. I think it's being aware that like who if you're going to like spend time working on it, who actually genuinely has your interests at heart trying to make you feel better. There's a difference between saying, "Oh, it's just a game." If you're genuinely wanting to get better, then, having conversations with people that genuinely challenge your thoughts and things. One of the reasons why I've really enjoyed getting to know, Shaolin Bro, Lifnix, Soju, all these people, is because I know for a fact they're better than me. But I know that I can also go to them and be like, right, or if they ask, to like duo or 5 stack, there's so much I can learn from them, things like that. I it's it's really hard to get out of that initial state where you're like, I feel like I'm not doing what I should be doing. But the thing is, if you look at, for example, I'm in Ascendant
Yeah,
and it's like the top, you know, essentially the top 1 to 2% of players in Valorant. So, you know, factually, you are better than,
My
the
babushka
majority of
taught me not to
people.
brag,
But obviously, if you
but
don't
for
feel
this
like
I make
that,
an exception.
then
My
I get
babushka
it.
taught me not
But,
to
yeah,
brag, but for this I make an exception.
if that's the case, then spend your time with people who will try and help you improve or try and, I'm not saying, lie to you and gas you up, whatever. But, for
no,
example, like with Eric and Challenger and Liftnex, being like, okay, Eric actually gave me helpful tips.
yeah,
But then we actually, we played 5 stacks, we played customs or whatever, and I genuinely tried to keep up with people. And when I was focused and, I had like a goal, eventually it gets recognized. I think if you spend your time with people that don't necessarily share the same goals as you, it's just not productive for you.
mm,
Um, I can have a laugh and a real fun time with the people that that also genuinely want to improve at the game.
yeah,
I don't know. It's a difficult one to answer because everyone's different.
yeah. I
Um,
agree.
but for me, also just a small break. Like one day, I played Apex instead of Valorant, and then I came back and I was like, I was vibing, absolutely vibing. So it's
I
you know,
think in terms
it's
of
listening to someone just saying, "Oh, take a break. It's just a game," and it's like, well, it's just a game to that one person. You know,
yeah, yeah,
but for other
it's.
people, they genuinely want to be
I mean, it
a
could be good
good
advice for your
better.
mental, but what would it do for your confidence?
Just saying, "I'll
Um,
just take a break." And another thing is, addressing different parts of my life. Like my one thing that, for example, Shalom wrote in chat, you know, has been getting me to do is,
yeah,
actually having, a healthier way of living. Obviously, it's a bit harder because of my personal mental health struggles.
yeah,
But, even if, example, having water instead of a Red Bull, let's just say that,
yeah. So
you
it's
know,
good habits that equate to it. It's good habits
and
that will
or
feed
if
into
you
it.
know if you can feel yourself being in like a bad, like not a bad mood, but just in a down mood, watching something or listening to something that genuinely makes you happier,
Yeah,
and things like that. So
I agree.
I mean, I'm
agree.
still going to advocate for Red Bull because I'm a member of the Geeks House.
Mm.
But having a healthy balance is very important. And it's something I still struggle with because obviously anyone that, again, like I said twice before,
Yeah.
you've seen
Yeah.
my relationship with food is not the best because of a variety of mental health issues.
For me, I also deal with the fair share, but not to compare or anything, God forbid.
No, of course not.
But I don't feel like it affects my confidence in game because I'm a different person when I'm playing.
Yeah.
And like the reason, and that also links to the reason why I love to play so much as well. Is because I can just get away from the sort of things that bring me down.
Yeah.
And so it's sort of like negatively boosts my confidence a lot more. And
sorry, you go.
Carry on now.
I was just saying, I think another thing is if you're going to, for example, play in a 5-stack or play in a duo or play in a trio or whatever, make sure you know what it is that you're entering. So for example, if you want to join a group of a 5-stack purely for the vibes, then then okay, and you want it to be for that reason, then make sure you play with people that keep it at those vibes.
Yeah.
If I'm genuinely wanting to rank up or wanting to improve, then I'll spend time with the people that genuinely will not necessarily try hard, because obviously I play with people that are high immortal and things.
Yeah.
But spending time with people that genuinely want to essentially win. Obviously have a good time as well, but have that kind of understanding. So if Shaolin asks me to duo or trio, or if Liftnix or people like that ask me, I know for a fact that yes, okay, the vibes are gonna be good anyway because I gel with them. But
Agreed.
there is that element of wanting to win the rounds and wanting to win the game. If there are other people that I play with, for example, Kay, that I mentioned earlier, Kay Wedley, yes, okay, winning is great, but my priority with her is having a really, really fun time and funny time. So I'll do stupid shit. So making sure you understand what you want out of the game that day, and making sure you play with people that share that kind of common end goal, I guess. I think that's a big thing.
So the moral of it is just playing with any certain party with a purpose.
Yeah.
As long as you have a purpose when you're playing Valorant or you're playing ranks, then you won't be dreading it like those toxic people you normally meet in your ranked games. They play without a purpose. But what's the next thing? Do we have another question before we move on?
Let
me have a look. See. All right, I don't think so.
No, just an Ari Barker.
Didi, welcome Didi. How are you doing today? I met Didi yesterday, and I feel like he has so much talent that is uncovered. And I think the world is yet to see Didi. Seriously. That's what I learned playing with you and Valley yesterday. You guys have a good time. You guys can have a good time by listening to you guys. I can also find ways to improve as a player, which I really enjoy. Yeah, that's Valley. I'm surprised you like Valley. Valley's like I'm surprised Valley likes you genuinely, because normally when as a player, like a competing player, they don't really have a lot of time to spend playing unrated with new people and making friends with them. But the fact that he meshed so well with you says a lot about you, genuinely. You're saying Valley is a very interesting character, lol, but he seems fun. But you need to understand that he's been very interesting and he's been very open yesterday on stream because of how impressive you were as a person. DD, yeah, I really reckon you should get out there and start streaming and do TikTok and all that stuff. You've got so much to show. You guys should listen to his voice impressions. They're so funny.
Wait.
He has voice impressions.
Okay.
And his voice is like so projectable, and he's got such a good like voice on his
Oh,
vocals.
okay.
It reminds me
Okay.
of Corpse. You know Corpse.
Yeah, Corpse Husband.
Yeah. Trying to make you blush, or no? I'm trying to get you out there. I'm trying to get you out there, bro.
Oh, bless.
No, I just want you to start. I really want you to start. All right. So next topic at hand is. Would you want to deal with the questions, or do you want to deal with the chit chat topics?
I
Up to
don't
you.
mind. I can't spend too much time because of I haven't got too much time left. I've maybe got like the rest of the hour.
All right. So let's get into the hot topics then. We'll get into the hot
Okay.
topics.
What are the hot topics?
The hot topics. We already did the stream career. We already mentioned the Goose House, the invitationals.
Oh god.
The next one is. So the next one's gonna be a very I wouldn't say a controversial topic. I would say it's
opinionated.
It's opinionated, and the awareness needs to be raised a lot. That's what I believe, because I feel like an opinion needs to be set straight across.
I'm about to get
across the
cancelled,
board.
chat. You ready?
Oh, defo, man. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Vandals of Phantoms.
Oh dear.
So the next topic we want to talk about is mainly women in esports. But the subtopic first is going to be the realities of women in this space, in esports in particular, that publicizes negativity more than positivity. And there's going to be quite a bit to talk about, guys. And I'm going to need you all to listen very closely today.
Oh
and
gosh, here we go.
From what you guys learned from this stream and this podcast, please believe it, and hopefully at least one of you guys will change your mind. So
okay,
about how in esports they were normally publicized more negativity than positivity for women. That normally goes in case for all the terrible things that happen to them, and that they find people to hold accountable for, and which is what that should be done. I really believe people who are sexist and misogynistic towards women must be held accountable and have the consequences. They should be called out for any means. They should be called out for bad behavior as it happens, in order to just demolish the stereotype as much as we can. That's how I believe it should be.
Oh dear.
And no, we're getting into it. We're getting into it.
Yeah, no. I'm just making sure that because obviously, I have lived this. I'm one of those people that have been very lucky in the fact that I have grown up being very aware that everybody has their own experiences, everyone has their own upbringings, and you can't necessarily expect everybody to share the same opinion straight away.
Yeah.
When it comes to females in gaming, it's always been that stereotype that's a very rare occurrence. Valorant is actually one of the biggest games at the moment with a high percentage of female players. One of the reasons why they have, the game changers scene, because they understand that their female, player base is very big in comparison to other games. My issue with a lot of this is that it just seems that when it comes to trying to encourage people to not have those misogynistic thoughts or those sexist, opinions about things, bottom fragging duel lists, Sages getting boosted by a duelist, duo and things like that, and being aware that the negativity really often outshines the positivity, because there are a lot of people that genuinely uplift women in the space. So a lot of the people that I surround myself with are incredibly positive. But then but all you really see is the drama in the game changers scene. The game changers scene is somewhere that I'll be competing in soon.
Yeah.
But, it's been very there's been a lot of drama with it over the past, well, since it started, because of the way that it's run or because of certain people breaking rules and things like that. But the positives aren't really necessarily seen too. Um, when it comes to being sexist and misogynistic in games, I've dealt with that sort of stuff since I've played, Call of Duty, Halo, Rainbow Six Siege, for example, Apex, Valorant, a variety of different games where, those opinions are such a common thing. Not so much, I don't really encounter it as often as, say, 10 years ago,
Okay.
or even 4 years ago. I think with Valorant being such a female, having such a big player base when it comes to women, it's been very good, in terms of, I don't actually run into that many misogynistic people as much anymore. Maybe that's because I've climbed higher in the ranks and people are a bit more accepting of those higher rank people.
Yeah, and you've searched your
You know?
way into a safe space and a safe community, and you have your own community to lead as well,
Yeah.
which is predominantly your Discord server and your community, including your stream, is a safe place, genuinely.
Yeah.
And one of the main goals that you're carrying on right now is trying to make it a safe place for everyone in and out of your community, especially for women as well.
It really disheartens me when I load up Twitter to seeing constant negativity when it comes to female in the space. Obviously, those things need to be addressed and those things need to be brought to light, but also, why don't we reflect on the people that genuinely make the scene better or genuinely encourage females? I'm not saying they need to be, put on a pedestal. Oh my God, these people are treating us like equals or whatever. But it's more like, oh, I had this really fun experience where it was just a really fun time, and it wasn't, I don't know. It's hard when social media is such like, essentially is a breeding ground for negativity. All these social media sites, just when you're in a bad mood, you need to vent or you want to, say something.
Yeah.
You go straight to social media. It's such a breeding ground for negativity. And I think that's one of the reasons why it really peeves me off, because I've had so many positive experiences
Yeah.
with so many different types of people in this, in streaming, in Valorant, in ranked and things like that. But I've also come across my fair share of negativity. There are unfortunately players and even, content creators that I will not go anywhere near anymore because of my experiences with them. I won't name names out of pure respect
Yeah.
for their, but that is a common occurrence. And I think for me, it just really peeves me off when all I see is negativity, because there are so many good experiences with being a woman, and especially in this particular game. I know Dee Dee's asked a question about why. I hope you don't mind me piggybacking on
No,
this.
go for it.
About why Valorant is has such a large, female, even marginalized gender player base. For me, in my opinion, obviously being a woman in this space, is that for me, the game was very relatable to get into. That the characters are very relatable, and there was something for everybody. Especially with having abilities. There's that kind of thing where I think maybe societal expectations and stuff. There are people who are more supportive, supportive based character roles, for example, like your healers, like your sentinels and Valorant, MMOs, all that kind of stuff. They enjoy, being those caretakers, but you also get those personalities who are very hot headed, very, doing things immediately, your
Phoenix,
duelists,
Jet. Yeah.
or more people that like a bit of both, which is your controllers, and I think it caters to so many different types of personalities. Unfortunately, what ends up happening is there's the stereotypes that are formed because of past games or because of the expectations of women when it comes to things like healers, or the sages and things like that. It's I You might well, the agents are bringing I wouldn't necessarily the agents. I think it's something new, and I think a lot, especially because of COVID, um, a lot more. I have a lot of other female friends who have started gaming because they were stuck indoors.
Yeah.
You know, Sims was, you know, for example, one of my favorite games growing up was The Sims, and you know, there's only so much The Sims you can do in The Sims over like a 2-year period.
And it was around the time COVID was a thing as well, so a lot of people turned to gaming and
Yeah,
streaming.
exactly, because you weren't allowed to leave your house, and it was like, what can I do that's
That was when
different?
Valorant was hot.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why there's a lot of there's a quite a large female player base in Overwatch as well. Was there's relatability to so many different types of characters. The way the cinematics are delivered, and also how quickly Valorant and Riot hopped on the we want to make women, you know, we want to make women celebrated in this space, you know, with game changes, things like that. And you know, this year it's going to be the first international LAN for a female circuit. That's never happened in a video game before. So I think there's a huge mixture of reasons. I think for me, you know, I've been gaming since I was, you know, 3 years old. I used to play SSX Tricky on the PS2 with my dad. But on Gran Turismo, even though I hate driving games. But for a lot of my other friends, they picked up games because of COVID, because it was their way of passing the time, because they were stuck indoors when they would usually go out, spend time with their friends and things. So I think that's a huge thing.
I want to go back to your point about how negative it can be around social media.
Yeah.
When you were discussing about how it was very like daunting and it's negative to scroll down and read about all the stuff that's been going on in terms of misogynistic like things people say towards women in their games. I really feel like it's there because it's a good way for them to call out something bad to happen to them and to act on making someone take accountability. But there's not enough the ratio between the negative impacts on stereotypical behavior in game that leads to social media is too large compared to the positive achievements and milestones that women reach in Valorant that goes around social media as well. And that will go into what we're going to talk about in a second, where not enough recognition goes into women in Valorant to the point where it takes over the negativity that happens to them. And I think I don't like that at all, because it's a genderless based game where this game is based on your personality. Esports is essentially about personalities, so it's nothing to do with physical abilities where the boys are better than the girls, or like they're built different or whatever. But it's because that it's an esport about abilities, about personalities. Like we all have the same reflexes, the same reaction times, the same skills needed to be a great player and to evolve in competition. But this stereotype is so hard to break that we need to go about this in the way which we'll talk about. So I want to stress and make it clear that women and men should be obviously treated equally in esports, especially because they're both playing in the same level. If it going out like in related, especially towards. I'm gonna go about all angles here. For women competing, they're playing the same game as men do, and at the same level, at the same high level as well, but they aren't being paid the same, and so that's one thing that I dislike. Women are treated less than men, treated with less respect than men, and while harassment is something that no one should have to put up with, women disproportionately have to put up with it. And
you can say that again.
Yeah, sorry. I almost started, so I had to read my note again. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. I got it.
So for that, we have to increase in accountability. Call it out when it happens if you see that happen anywhere near you, even if it's not you, even if you're a man as well. I think men should. I think as a man, we should all take accountability. If you have a friend, or if you are someone who has affected a woman negatively in relation to the game, if it's about performance or anything, it shouldn't be a thing. If you're calling a woman bad at a game because she's a woman, that means you can that means you're allowed to call you're allowed to call another man bad at a game because he's a man, because it wouldn't make sense. The reason being is because we both have the same abilities we're born with, that we use in esports, which is our reflexes, our brain, and our reaction time. So if you're being sexist, saying that women shouldn't be playing in esports, and you think that it should be only men, then you really think that your brain is has more brain cells than a woman does. That Immediately just takes you out of the question and puts you in a bin straight away. It like you're like I don't know what book you've been reading or what school you've gone to, but it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that at all.
No, it doesn't. I think this particular topic goes far beyond, Valorant or games in general. There's the societal expectation constantly of what a woman is and what a woman should be doing, or what a woman what a woman should be doing with their time, what a woman should be, doing and things, and how they should live their life and things like that. One thing that really winds me up is when, for example, I will post, there was one time I posted a video of one small negative experience that I had with a game, just because it made me laugh, like uncomfortably laugh.
Yeah.
About the fact that I was essentially being boosted, or that I was quote unquote sucking my duo's dick when I rezzed them, that kind of thing. And it's just like not necessary. But people, especially men, will be like, "Well, just mute them." And it's like, hang on a minute. I shouldn't have to mute them when it happens every single game because of my gender.
Yeah.
From my experience, men don't get told every other game or every game
No.
to, for example, to go to the kitchen, or that you, oh God, you're bad at the game because of something you can't control, but being a woman and things like that, or I'm going to essentially violate your body because they're mad at the video game. I shouldn't have to deal with listening to that every single game. It's one of the reasons why I don't talk in games. It's because I would rather not calm and potentially lose the game because I'm not calmed,
Yeah.
than have to deal with that constant mental attack every game. And it's like, the thing is, people say, "Oh, just mute it." It's like, so you want me to mute people as soon as I enter the game? Because
No.
the thing is, one comment can be enough to ruin my whole entire experience, and my mental will drop, and my performance will drop.
Yeah.
I spoke in Agent Select, and I said hi, and then they tried to get me to talk for the next few rounds, purely so they could, it was the whole woman thing or whatever. And then when I didn't, they started ripping into me, saying all these obscenities. And I'm like, hang on a minute. I shouldn't have to mute you. You should take it upon yourself to not say that to someone.
Yeah.
Would you say that to... What would you say if someone said it to your mum, or to your sister, or to your cousin who's female? What gives people... And it goes back to that whole, "Oh, well, women shouldn't be wearing that short of a skirt because it just invites it." And it's like, well, I'm just living my life. that's going down a different road, and I don't really want to go down that road yet, like that road today. But
honestly,
there are some comparisons, and it really pisses me off because
it is generally infuriating.
I am trying to win a game, but people genuinely think by saying they're going to, do something to me as a human, or that I am shit at the game because because of my gender. It's like, how do you think that's going to make me perform? Do you think it's going to make me want to do better and impress you?
No.
Like, is it some sort of reverse psychology? And that pisses me off a lot as well. But I think that goes a lot deeper than necessarily just gaming. I'm not asking, all men to be like, whoa, 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 like you shouldn't do that, like have a go at them. But just say, hey, that's not cool. Like, we're not asking you to fight our fight. There shouldn't have to be a fight to begin with, but whatever. But
we have to fight. And
it's
this
really disheartening.
It genuinely is. It's genuinely daunting as well, especially since they believe so harshly on it. Like it's like something that's like common sense. It's like it's common sense to them to think that way, but it's genuinely the fact that this shit all starts from home for them. Like these men weren't taught that they aren't entitled to anything, and but everyone has the same reflexes, aim and reaction time, like I said before, necessary to become a great player. But it's just that when I say everyone must hold these twisted misogynists accountable. If you have a friend, I'm just gonna say out loud, like if you have a friend who has similar to that, who has done that to a woman before, you can't call yourself a good person.
No.
You can't call yourself a good person at all. Like a good guy or a good man.
Yeah.
Especially like from a woman's perspective, you'd fall instantly into the men are trash category. But mainly because of that, it's if you don't tell that person to stop, if you don't change your friend's mind, if you don't cut that person off, you're immediately one of them. You're enabling it, even if you don't laugh, smile, or giggle, because you're still playing with that person. And for the victim's entire life, remembering that incident, they're gonna know that you're the friend of that sick, twisted person, and you didn't do anything against it. That's like watching a kid get beaten, and that kid just sees you standing
and you got your
there,
phone out recording it,
and you got your phone out recording it.
Really, I'm not, like I said, you don't have to say stick up. I don't know. It's like I'm not asking. I wouldn't expect you. For example, if you're duo to someone and they said that to a girl in a game, I wouldn't necessarily expect you to have a go at them during that game, but have a conversation with them after the game and just say, hey, look, that was not okay how you spoke to them, because they're going to, if people like that might not always know that that's what they're doing, but also, it's they'd be more likely to accept it from someone they respect and someone they're not currently mad at. If I was to shout back, I've for example, I get bullied I got bullied. I, get comments on a lot of different things, in regards to, how I play, my voice and things like that. It's a mixture of different things. But if you voluntarily just let it slide, then you're just as bad, because that means that you're okay with people being treated like that.
Let me tell you, B.
I don't expect you to jump on the bandwagon and be like, right, no, you're not allowed to say it, blah, blah, blah. But have a chat with them afterwards, because that's, from a friendly perspective, like as a friend, I am saying this is not okay.
Basically, in a man's language, when your boy, okay, and let me tell you from basically what B is trying to say is, if your boy is acting out of turn in a sexist or misogynistic manner, you pattern that guy straight away. You pattern it straight away. You call it quits. If you don't see this guy patterning up his problem and not doing it again and apologizing maturely, you cut him off. You cut it off. He will deal with the repercussions himself. If you don't, you're in it with him. You're in it with him.
Yeah, you're enabling it.
You're enabling it.
You know,
But
and obviously, you know, I'm not. So for some people, it's like, you know, they say it out of frustration or because that's just the way they've been brought up and stuff.
yeah,
Telling them giving them a different perspective and being like, that's not okay because of this, this, and this. You're not necessarily saying, you know, you need to, for example, change your opinion, but making them aware that this isn't okay.
yeah,
We're not asking, we don't expect people to change. I don't expect someone to change their opinion on how they see a group of people or women or whatever immediately. You know, obviously, I would love for it to be the case, but that's not how humans work.
yeah. I get
But
that.
just making it aware that someone that they respect doesn't agree with someone they come from, like where they're coming from. You know, I just don't think it's okay to rip another human being down purely because you're frustrated.
Yeah.
You know, that essentially is harassment or bullying. It's one of the two. And it's just not okay.
Mm,
To the point where, you know, I'm a duelist for my team. I'm a signed player playing duelist for my team. But
mm.
I go through really bad comp experiences because I'm so terrified of playing a duelist and performing badly that I'll get shouted or yelled at. And for someone who doesn't respond well to shouting as well,
Who
it's
the
like
hell is
what
gonna shout
what
at B of all people if anyone
yeah,
shouts
like
at you?
people
You got a
people
whole
'cause I have
squad. You got a whole
like
squad full of
I'm
boys in
super
the chat
sensitive. I'm super sensitive
who will defend you.
to noise. So if someone, you know, and
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
genuinely scared of playing a character that I'm comfortable on, purely because of you know, how, you know, I don't want to get shut at or, you know, told, oh, I'm a bottom fragging duelist or typical woman, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, people will say, oh, you're a snowflake or you need to grow thicker skin. I'm like, but this happens every single game.
Yeah.
If you are told every 45 minutes that you're shit at the game, how is that meant to impact your performance? You know, how is that going to make you feel? It's very annoying when people say, like, it's the whole thing, just mute or whatever. It's like, I shouldn't have to.
Mm.
But I'm in a catch-22 where it's like, I want to be able to enjoy the game, but I want to be able to play what I'm comfortable on without being yelled at or insulted or whatever. I don't understand why people feel the need to just get so aggressive and rude with humans. It's just not okay.
It's genuinely their upbringing that's messed up from the start, and then they're bringing it to other people's lives and affecting them instead.
Mm.
And they're treating
Yeah.
it as it's common sense, and it's completely
Mhm.
fucked up. It's completely that's like,
Yeah.
it's genuinely just like growing up you're taught that you have to walk around carrying shit in your pocket, actual pure feces in your pocket, thinking it's all right.
Mhm.
And then you going out in town thinking, what the hell are you guys doing not having shit in your pocket? You
Yeah.
idiots. Go
And
back
like
home to the toilet, get shit in your pocket right now.
and
That's
like with what Eric said, you know, comms are important. One thing that I will disclose this, you know, one thing that a lot of female teams have to work on is comms because we're so used to not talking
yeah,
in comp because
imagine.
we're afraid of how we're going to be treated, or by simply making a call out, oh, they're on C-Link, oh, you know, C-Link on Haven. I have had it where I have made a comm and then two people have followed me up one place on a map making slurping noises down the microphone. I have had it where I have spoken and I was in an unrated, albeit solo. I have spoken and my other four teammates have surrendered immediately as I've spoken. You know, I have had those situations and it's like one thing that female teams have work on a lot is communication because we're so used to not coming out of pure fear that we're going to get attacked every single game. And it's not as bad as you climb the ranks, sure, but I'm the worst of it is in plat and diamond. Oh my god. People are such misogynists in that particular elo. Um, and it's really, really just shitty.
I
Just
can't,
really shitty,
I can't imagine what that would be like.
you know?
Yeah.
And that's why people, you know, whenever I do it with people, I've done it with Shaolin, I've done it with, you know, other people, but I will make a call out in my Discord call, and then they will make the call because I'm too scared to. purely because of how, or unless it's like an urgent thing, like shit, I've got 5 people running me down. Like I'll be like, hey. But it's really, really frustrating because I wanna win for my team.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to feel unsafe in a 45-minute game.
Mm.
It's such a sad reality, and it's like it goes beyond this particular video game. It's just how people see women.
I do think it can. I do believe it can change. Genuinely.
Yeah, no, it can and probably will change, but will it change in the next year? No. Will it change in the next 5 years? Probably not. And it's just
like other stereotypes, but this one's a lot
and like
harder to fight.
I probably have one or two friends.
I wouldn't. Sorry, I take that back. It's not as hard. It's not harder to fight than other stereotypes.
I know, like, in the lowest ranks, like Iron to Silver, people don't come anyway. But when it comes to kind of, I know so many women in this scene or in this game, but I know probably one or two, probably two off the top of my head, out of maybe a potential 50 that are comfortable speaking in game no matter what.
Yeah, I know.
The others will wait to see if they start top fragging, or they'll wait to see how the others vibe. They won't talk until like 4 or 5 rounds in.
Yeah, like I know quite a handful
the sad reality
of girls who
I watched a VOD
have
back
their
of a
mics
streamer
muted
who was in
no
my
matter
game.
what game they play.
Yeah, I watched a VOD back of a streamer who was in my game yesterday, and their duo made such a big thing about how I was a woman. Oh, but I was on Sage. That's typical. It's just little things like that. And obviously, like, I understand, like, to an extent where that comes from, but it was very much like a, hang on a second, I play duelists, but not in this particular not right now because I'm too scared to. And it's really, really frustrating because it isn't just 1 or 2 women that experience this. It's 98 to 99% of women who feel this way.
And
women or marginalized genders, even LGBTQIA plus people. I have friends that get slurs thrown at them left, right, and center. Just they don't feel like they can exist safely.
And 100% all the men who are sexist and have behaved misogynistically towards women do not have enough brain cells to realize that esport is about personalities, not physical characteristics at all.
Like, I'm signed. I'm growing on Twitch, and I don't show, like, yes, I have breasts, but do I show them on stream? No, I do not. It's stupid. Oh, it grinds my gears.
It's so dumb. And they're walking around so confidently, but the worst thing is that it affects the women the most. It affects the women the most, and then something else that's more annoying is that especially when they call out women for playing the game, they speak to the pro female players like they're angels. I like there's I don't know. I don't know why they think like that. I don't know why they think like that. It's just that I want these guys to have a lesson. Like, I want to just be a teacher to all these guys in their classroom and tell them they all have the same skills, but there's nothing that sets them apart. There's not one thing that will set a woman and a man apart in esports, and they treat it as if there's many for no reason. I don't know why. They just cuss and cuss with no actual explanation. When you actually talk to someone, a sexist guy, they will never give you a proper explanation or a mature explanation. It's all very childish. It's all just insults. It's all insults that will never amount to you reaching the end of that conversation. But it's pure nonsense.
And it's like, I have been around so many conversations, especially in Valorant, because I've met so many different types of people. I've had conversations where, and I'm a very understanding person, where people are maybe on the younger side, they're like 18, freshly 18, and they come from a very traditional background from a culture that doesn't necessarily see women the same way that westernized countries do. You know, and it's like, okay, I completely understand it, but there is a way to communicate with a human being,
Yeah.
regardless of what's between your legs, what you know, what genetics you are, how you know how you choose to identify, whatever, who you sleep in bed with at the end of the night. You know, there is a basic, there is an you know, undisputable way of how to speak to someone in a respectful manner or in a nice way.
Yeah.
And that's all that we ask. I'm not asking for you to, you know, celebrate me at every single point of, you know, of my, you know, my existence purely because I'm a woman or whatever. I'm not asking for me to be, you know, congratulated for playing Valorant, you know, oh, you're so brave. Like I've had that before.
Yeah.
Like from, even from other women. You know, people will shit talk me in my games. And I'm like, hang on a minute, but if I look up their tracker, 2 games ago, you had the same score as I currently do. But suddenly it's an issue because I'm a woman. But you were playing just like that 2 games ago. Funny that. Do you see me targeting you for that? No.
No.
It's just I just don't understand how people don't have common respect and respect and decency. It just, you know, it just happens that
It's that they walk around so confidently with lack of knowledge and they don't understand. I don't know.
it's just frustrating.
Yeah, genuinely.
But I think it's gotten a lot better in my experience. But that might be because of, you know, the people that I surround myself with or the people I play with. But even then, like I've become a lot more confident calming, but then I also know that I I do get recognized a little bit more in my games lately, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, of
As
course,
well.
of course. You're growing. You're literally still growing as of this minute.
Oh, I hate it.
I
mean,
get
I love it. I
recognized
hate
too.
it though. It's so overwhelming.
I get recognized too. Sometimes I do get nervous about it, I can't lie. But it's normally always positive and I love it. And I love it.
Yeah.
But
It's just, yeah, it just is genuinely frustrating. And it's like also the way that certain people are treated for the way they, for example, a huge thing for me is, you know, my voice and stuff. Streaming has been really supportive and things. But for me, I get, I used to get, and I still do, you know, because of the way I speak, like this is my natural speaking tone and always has been my natural speaking tone and my way of speech, like speaking. But people like either think I'm putting it on, and I've had that growing up, or you know, I'll get mummy comments, and I'm like, I don't mind that too much, but it's like it's so strange when I'm like in a game, I say hi, and all of a sudden it's mummy, like shut up. And it's like, what? I just want to play the game, like that's all I want. Or people will be like, you know, asking, like interrogating me, asking me all these kinds of questions, and I'm like, dude, just let me play the game. Let me try and win for it with us, like as a team. Like I don't. This isn't a 20 questions thing. Like it's not a game show. Like I'm not. Like, what do you want me to do? Sit down and play Monopoly with you? I don't understand. So, and also getting hit on a lot is one of my biggest pet peeves when I'm playing a game. I'm like,
yeah, that's
I'm
what
literally
Sheldon
here.
just said.
I'm literally here throwing my fucking molly at the spike, and you're asking me, you know, what my bra size is for fuck's sake.
What?
Like I've had that before. I genuinely have had that, and I'm just like, why is that any of your business? Like, what? It's so stupid, and that's another reason why I don't put my, you know, I don't post that much in terms of my appearance online.
That's genuinely sick.
You know, I posted a selfie up because for the first time, you know, since streaming on my Twitter. And I won't lie, I had a lot of people in my DMs all of a sudden. And it's like all these radiants wanting to play. And I'm like, ew. Go
Yeah, you told me
away.
about that earlier.
Like, no, go away.
Yeah,
You're
this
cringe.
I
How you know
understand
what I look like,
completely
so
how
now
you feel.
you wanna suddenly like play. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah,
Go away.
it's not the reason you want to be recognized.
No, and that's another reason why I don't like doing don't like face cams or showing too much. I want to be judged on what I bring to the table in terms of my personality and my performance.
Yeah,
like how I play the game and what my personality is.
which is funny.
Not with how I look. Like I just it pisses me off.
Yeah, I know. But you can't deny the fact that you're pretty.
Oh my
And
god.
everyone finds you pretty. Let me look on your tweet right now. And all the feedback, not one comment said that you aren't pretty.
Oh, dear. Okay, that's
Almost
not.
200 likes, and how many comments? 54 comments.
Oh, I hate it. I posted that because I genuinely felt pretty. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But yeah, so it's just genuinely, there are so many issues. And the only thing that I ask of anyone that's watching or listening, whether that be right now as or with live or in the future, just please be respectful of who it is you're playing with. You know, it's a 45-minute game. Just just be respectful.
Mm,
You know, people might do frustrating plays, but there's a way to communicate with another person.
yeah.
You know, most of
Yeah.
you are adults over the age of 18, so act like it. There is a way to
It
talk
goes
to human
for
beings.
it goes
Every
for
pe
all genders,
Yeah, I'm saying
race,
anybody.
anybody.
Humans are humans.
But in this topic today, uh, I want you guys to just call it out and report them, etc. Just, I don't know, do it like you would do in the real world, but just don't like DDoS them or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Don't commit a crime.
Yes, don't commit a crime. But you know, but
Advice with
you
no
get what I'm
dirty.
saying, guys. You get what I'm saying. If I was guys, if I was a girl and there was someone sexist to me, do what you would do to help me, as I'll be fighting to other women in your games as well.
Mhm.
I don't want to say, yeah. Like you'd protect me, right, B?
Huh?
You protect me, right?
I'd protect you.
If we
Yeah.
swap roles,
Yeah, I would protect you. No, I mean, yeah, it's really disheartening
it's
because,
genuinely disheartening, yeah.
and it's like, I go into every game, especially if I was to ever solo queue. I'm like, is this voice chat safe? Like, do I genuinely feel like the next 45 minutes I will be safe if I talk?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's so genuinely frustrating. So yeah, please do call it out or do something about it. I'm not saying you have to shout at them back in your games or whatever, but report them. Or, you know, try and uplift a girl in your game. I'm not saying you have to worship the pixels they walk on, but worship the pixels.
Yeah.
But
The more
just
people that do
make
it,
it a welcome environment.
genuinely, the more of you guys that do it means that the less times it will happen in the games. And we can't stop all of it, but you'll never know because you can always change it because it could always result in one person's mind being changed. That means
Yeah.
one less woman being hurt, and
Mhm.
you'll never know. But the more we try it, the more we change minds, the more positive we are in reinforcement, and the more we promote it, which means that one more person can be safe. That's pretty much the goal I'm trying to do right now. As Sheldon just explained in better words for me. He said positive reinforcement needs to be promoted. Doesn't have to be doesn't have to or should be excessive, but giving women positive calls is important for enjoyment and mental fortitude in game. Genuinely, yeah. So I believe more people should act on it, even if they're not involved, and more women should get more recognition for their accomplishments and positive things they create in game as well, and offline in terms of what they do in esports. Yeah, I feel like they should get recognition and equal pay in professional play because it relates to real life as well.
Mhm.
I know.
It's,
I know. I'm proud of
just
you. I'm
like,
genuinely proud of you.
it's such a big topic, and you can talk about this sort of thing for a very long time.
Yeah.
But if, like I said, and like you said, the takeaway is, just call it out as you see it, or do something about it when you see it. Don't just sit there and, let it happen. Don't enable it. So, yeah, that's my input. Okay, are we able to move on
Yeah.
from this topic, please?
Yeah. I don't think there's any more questions now. So I think that we're towards the end of it now. And let me see. There's nothing else left. Yeah, that's about it. The topic is done though, that's for sure though. That's for sure, V. If there's anything else you want to talk about.
I mean, for those that want to support me,
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
No,
It's
for sure.
one of those things where, like, say, one of the questions that I wanted to, because obviously we spoke about like my streaming career and stuff, and not necessarily much about my professional. Like now that I'm on a team.
Yeah.
So with Intrepid Fox, which is the org that I am competing as a duelist for, we are going to be competing in a variety of tournaments in September, which include the Contenders Legion Athena series, the Goose House's Birds of Prey 4, and VCT Game Changers, which is going to be crazy. Nads and I are also competing in OMG Cavs' BAP Invitational on Wednesday and hopefully Friday, if we get past the first stage. So it's crazy. I am really looking forward to it, especially the tournaments coming up. I'm incredibly busy with my full-time job, scrimming, tournaments, streaming, and then making time for my friends. It's very, very, very full on, but I'm trying my best. So, yeah.
But
That's my Twitter.
That's your Twitter. That's your org Twitter as well. But yeah. Do support V as well. She's gonna love it. She's gonna need all the support that she wants, and to do really well.
I post funny shit sometimes.
She does. She genuinely does. Sora
I barked in my game the other day.
I think you really would get to know. You really like to get to know Sora. Honestly, I've known Sora for how long?
She's so pretty.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna sim. Sorry, I simp for the girls. I simp for all the girls.
Go for it. Anyways, yo, Shao, how you doing, my boy? You looking pretty. I'm joking. Okay, that's awkward. I don't know. Men can't do that. It never really works out. I can't call a guy pretty. I have to. Yeah, like you gotta call him like handsome. Honestly, V, I don't calling a guy cute. I don't think it fits.
Okay, I got into a massive conversation with a group of people for this, right? Do you think, from a man's perspective, I'm genuinely curious, and any men in the chat, do you think a girl calling a guy cute is friend zoning them?
Yeah.
You think at any point if a girl calls a guy cute, it's friend zoning them?
It depends. Like you wouldn't call a guy cute depending.
What do you mean? Yes.
It depends on it genuinely depends on the demographic. It's the demographic. If they're young,
demographic.
If they're a teenager or if they're young adults
in school, yeah, I see that in school.
You call them cute, but you have to call a man a handsome.
Oh no, I don't call you handsome. Absolutely not. Handsome sounds so formal.
Yeah, that's the better word to use for man.
No. I'm good.
I just don't know how I'd feel if a woman called me cute.
I call guys cute all the time.
Like if you called me cute, I'd be like, like I wouldn't be like. You see my face just now? I just make it like a cute little face or something like that. But I wouldn't be moved by it, if you know what I mean. I just instantly think.
Not. Absolutely not. If I call you cute, like I understand. Like, so for me, it's like if I call you cute, it's more like what you are doing, like, or what you do, or how you carry yourself, whatever. It's just endearing to me. So, for example, you can have a really, I don't know, like people who, if your personality or if you're genuinely caring for me or someone, I think that's really cute. Not a friend zoney way. I think that's really, really nice.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm not gonna go out of my way and say, "Oh my god, you're
but
so hot."
there's
Like,
no like feeling. There's no like romantic way when you're saying someone's doing something cute or is cute. But it doesn't mean
what they are. You haven't seen any yet.
it doesn't mean that you're friend zoning them. It doesn't mean you're friend zoning them. It just giving them the compliment as it is.
I
as
think
it is on
I think
paper.
the thing is, in school, if you call someone cute in secondary school, I'd understand that.
Then it's like romantic, whatever, in its own respective case. But
No, I thought that was friend zone. I call everybody cute.
Yeah.
Even if I'm interested in you, I will call you cute.
Personally, I don't like cute as a compliment.
Like, oh my god, you're so cute, or oh, that's cute. Like, what you've done is cute.
Like if I'm wearing cat ears, I'd be happy with that compliment. But I don't know, not romantically. It doesn't work romantically for me.
Oh, okay. Well, that's where Sora and I are on the same wavelength.
Go on, ostracize me, will you? That's just my opinion.
But like, I don't know.
For you, it does, Eric. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But
I think it just depends on your own opinion on the word.
When I
cute, genuinely call someone cute,
I think it's small.
I think it's a genuine like compliment. Like, it's not like oh, you're definitely a friend. I think beautiful should be definitely. Oh no, I don't like being called beautiful.
I agree. Beautiful should be both genders.
I hate being called beautiful because it just sounds so bleh. Bleh.
But I don't know. Like, it makes sense if beautiful should be for both genders, if it should be something romantic. But like, in terms of compliments, from what I've received from women in the past, like in like relationships or whatever, I've also been like hit on by women before.
Like, that is a lie.
Genuine. No. I've at night, times where going across town on the way home, I've been like harassed by drunk women. But it's not something I just want to like say, oh, that's happened to me. But like, where was I going again? It's
Sorry.
I don't know where I've been going. But like, I've never been called beautiful, if you know what I mean. I think beautiful goes for men who put a lot of effort into their appearance and are just naturally just beautiful. Okay. Yeah. I know. The timing is weird. No, generally. I swear I was with Mars at the time. I remember, if you ask Mars, I remember one time, like, we were both just walking across town. There were like four Caucasian women and one black girl. They were just like wobbling about across the street, like shouting, having fun and all that. They just like walked up up to me, and not Mars for some reason, and they just like touching me and holding me and shit, like, and they were just saying all kinds of weird shit. But
dashing, dashing. That is a word that
dashing is a good word.
That's such an old-fashioned word.
Yeah, it's a very like mature formal word, honestly. But I don't know, whatever suits the demographic, like, to whatever suits who you're speaking to, really. Now that the podcast is over, we're doing a just chatting stream. Let's go.
Also asking if you're doing customs.
If I'm doing customs, I'm not sure we're able to get this many people on at this time. I doubt it. I doubt we can do customs. But you do ask anyone if they're down for unrated. Eman, Orzo, you guys can play unrated together. But yeah, when I think of cute, I think of small. But in terms of like the word itself, but I do like to call women cute. If I scroll past like a Twitter feed and I'll be like, oh, she's very cute, and then I'll just scroll down. When I hear dashing as a compliment, it makes me envision some older generation.
Extremely dashing young fella.
Yeah. You look mighty. You look very dashing in that suit of yours. He's a dashing
My
young
favorite
fellow.
thing I think about streaming
Small.
is the fact that people develop such like an opinion, especially about my height. Like one group of people will say I give off very like 5'1", 5'2" energy, but
Yeah.
other people think that I give off that kind of dommy mummy, like tall, like 5'10". Well, that's not tall, but you know what I mean, like taller for women, 5'10", 5'11" energy.
How tall are you?
Which is,
if you don't mind asking.
take a guess. Chat and you take a guess at how tall you think I am.
5'6", 5'7".
Okay. I want chat to guess. If you already know, Imran, do not say it.
6'2", 5'8".
6'3". My best friend, she's 6'3".
That's crazy.
She's
What?
6'3". She's crazy. Her
Does she
whole
model?
family is super tall. No. Oh, well, like her, like she's like a free, like her own model. Like,
Damn, she's
5'6" on a bad day, 6'11" on a good
potential,
day.
no?
6'11" is my height. I am 6'11". God.
That's a lot. Holy. That's 5'6" on a bad day, 6'11" on a good day. Is that in terms of like your ranked performance or like your mood that day? Adora used to be 6'5". Yeah, that's a cap.
Okay. That's funny. 4'10". The fuck do you mean 4'10"?
DD.
I'm actually like 5'9/5'10".
Oh
That's how
really?
tall I am. Yeah.
I'll say about as tall as Mars then. Nice.
That's how tall I am.
I'm 6 foot, 6'0".
3'10", take it or leave it. Fuck off.
Take it or leave it. No deal. No deal.
Fuck's sake.
What sort of questions do you have for men?
Me questions for men?
Yeah. What like?
Why are you guys so
Let's get into
annoying?
the nitty-gritty. In what sense?
No, it was just why? Like, someone gives me the topic men, I'm like, why? Oh, dear. Okay.
Like,
We just thought.
any habits that we have that you don't...
Okay, no. So this is because this builds on like stereotypes of what men are. What are your opinions on men and crying? Like genuine opinions on men and crying. I really am interested.
I feel like
people's opinions.
My opinions are that all men should have a place to cry. They should have a place to cry genuinely, and you cannot blame a guy for not crying at all. If they are against like being open to crying in front of any woman in particular, I feel like you should give them that space, give them that choice and chance to not do it. But you can encourage them to be open with their feelings and talk to them if you feel very close to that person, if they are your partner or whatnot. Go for it. But I don't think you should force a man to cry in front of you. Otherwise, it will genuinely affect your view on them and their view on you.
I think for me, the thing that really, and this has happened, this is like an experience from my experience with men in a more emotionally and romantic kind of way. Men that don't feel like they can communicate their emotions, it's very hard because I'm someone who wants you to communicate how you're feeling with me.
Yeah.
And because you have this stereotype of what a man how a man should behave, it makes it incredibly hard because I'm the type of person that wants to make sure everything's okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm someone who picks up on emotions quite quickly. So if I can tell that something's bothering you, I would rather you communicate it with me. You know, I'm not saying that you have to cry in front of me because I know a lot of people aren't necessarily comfortable crying in front of people. Like myself, I find it really hard to cry in front. Like I genuinely do not want to cry in front of anybody, as a woman, even.
Of course.
Because of the way I've been brought up has been very independent and very like I deal with shit on my own. But communication is so attractive to me and also so important for a healthy relationship, a healthy friendship, healthy anything with another human being. Because we're very complex creatures, you know. If there is something bothering you, let me know so I know whether to address it, avoid it, or help you, distract yourself from it.
Yeah, that's where your type comes in. You will find that type of man who finds emotional transparency attractive,
Yeah,
and you can't
like
expect a guy to be
I'm
like
somebody, and because of who I am as a human, because I can go from being very like, I would tell someone, "Hi, I am needy for attention."
Yeah,
Like I would
communication is
genuinely,
important.
like text someone and be like, "I am needy for attention. Give me attention."
Yeah,
Or like,
of
"Are you
course.
able to give me attention?" Like,
Can you come over? This and that. Can we just chill for a bit?
like
I
that
want to
kind
be
of
next to you.
thing.
Yeah.
And I want, and if people are feeling some type of way, communicate with me. And obviously with the emotions like crying and stuff, like it's okay to cry. Crying is part of human nature. I would rather you cry. Yeah, like one thing that
But
I can't scroll up. Dee said was huge. Like that's such a like emotional.
I'd rather
I'd
have a
rather
homo cry on my shoulder than be at his funeral next week. Yeah, all the boys know that. All the boys know that. But what I was about to say, I almost lost my train of thought. Is
sorry.
that in a relationship that should matter, but if you're going to if you're trying to talk to a girl, if you're in like a talking stage or whatever, it shouldn't happen in any case, because if you're already showing, from in a man's words, your weakness in front of a woman, it will immediately turn them off, and you can't show the spark will be gone. And
Okay.
it kind of puts a nip in the bud.
Yeah.
But
Have you ever cried on stream?
I've ever
That was a
cried on
podcast question.
stream.
Also did a podcast question. Yeah.
There is this one time a long time ago, but I'm not gonna bring it up. A second time, I got emotional, but I didn't cry. That's because I got too many gifted at once, and I didn't know when it was gonna stop. But it ended. Luckily, it ended very abruptly at like around 30. But it kept on going and going and going forever. And I know how rich that guy is. I know how rich Rose is.
Yeah.
But yeah. I can't answer that question.
I have cried a few times on stream, and anyone that knows me, a Dead Kitten, one of my close friends, he knows that crying is really. I really try not to cry because I'm on stream, because I'm not one of those humans that enjoy doing it in front of people. One time was when I got a lot of love because I was very open about my mental health at that time when I was playing Apex. I had a massive breakdown during middle of the stream, and then people started like you said, like people started like gifting and stuff, and I was like, no, don't do that because I'm not in a great space. Like, but I appreciate all the love and support. My charity stream, I cried because it's obviously I raised money for the homeless, like the homeless youth.
£800.
800, yeah, I raised over £800 for homeless youth, and that made me cry because that was a huge, like like I said, I will disclose, like, members of my family have been homeless, so it's like a huge thing for me. And
I've had
that
my
made
fair
me,
share as well.
I was crying for so long.
I've been homeless before, and it was
It's
fucking
not
awful.
a fun experience. I would never wish it on anybody. There's been a couple of questions that have been asked towards me. Also, as asked if anyone's made a comment that made you cry on stream. In terms of like a hate comment or just a comment in general, because I'm somebody that doesn't know how to respond very well to positive comments. I'm someone who has a very hard exterior, and very like sass, like, banter. So that hate comment, not really, because I have a really high like filter on my stream, because being a woman who, plays Valorant, and I also have, a mod who's very on it very quickly. And I've been on the internet a very long time. I don't get like crying from like a hate comment. Hate comments, at the end of the day, like
No,
they do nothing. Sticks and stones.
Yeah, I just
For
get
me,
angry.
I think comments can like bring my mood down, but not necessarily make me cry. I won't cry on stream if it's a negative comment, because they don't deserve that kind of a reaction. Sora asked, what is something other than cheating that once done in a relationship you can never come back from? Oh, okay.
Pedophilia.
Well, anything that's criminal, obviously.
Yeah.
I think for me,
Um.
I because my biggest one is cheating.
Hurting the partner's mother.
But my other one is at this point in my life, I have been very much this. I have any kind of altercation that is physical.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
I will disclose that I have been through that, and it's one of those things where I will never, ever put myself through that again. Any sort of physical altercation, anything that, and that's unfortunately those sorts of things stick with you. So when I say I don't like when people raise their voice or shout at me, it is because of experiences that I have dealt with in relationships, in friendships, and things like that. You know, I have really bad anxiety as a result of that. So if I even detect that there is a possibility that that could happen, I am out there so quick. I don't want to go into any more detail because obviously it's my personal life.
I'll take over here.
But anyone that has a brain in your chat right now can take a hint. Can catch the hint.
It's clear. It's very, very clear.
That is one thing that is one thing other than cheating.
I've never hurt any of my women before in my life. I've never hurt any of my women before in my life, in my past relationships.
Okay, well, I'm very glad.
Genuinely, no, honestly, I've never had enough reason to. Even, like,
if you,
I've been cheated on before,
with anybody,
and
with a friendship or a relationship, if you resort to being physically aggressive or even emotionally aggressive, but physically aggressive with another human being, I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be around people.
Actually, wait.
I don't think anything warrants hurting another human physically.
Wait.
An eye for an eye never works.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you like that, but I have to say, I have an older sister who used to beat the shit out of me, so I'd fight her back.
Sibling relationships are a little bit different. I mean, like a genuine, like you are genuinely trying to hurt them.
No, we just throw shit at each other.
Yeah, I think sibling relationships are slightly different because that's just different. That's just siblings.
Yeah, for sure. But
anyone that you want to have a relationship with or a friendship with,
female siblings do love you the most, though, especially if they're older than you. But they can get very weird, especially when you get older. Oh man, a lot of times in my life, there's been times where I don't understand women. Especially, it gets very situational though. It gets very situational, but it takes quite some time for me to understand. As a man,
if you don't understand a woman,
you have to understand from a woman's perspective.
But yeah, or ask them a question. Have you been gaslighted? Did you see through it?
Have I ever been gaslighted, or do you see?
Have I been gaslit? Or have I? Yeah, even by Valorant content creators. There is one particular content creator who gaslit me within the past few months, and I detected it so quickly because I've dealt with it before, but it constantly makes you question. And I've got people around me now that I will say, "Look, am I doing the right thing, or is this is this them gaslighting me?" And they'll be like, "Yes," and I'll be like, "Okay, good." The fact that I now doubt myself in a lot of situations because I have been gaslit in the past is really fucking shitty. But I'm a lot better at detecting it now.
Gaslighting is shit, man.
Genuinely, if you are genuinely trying to mess with someone's mind and how they think, making them doubt their own brain, then you are the worst type of human. You're manipulative, you're an arsehole, and you deserve everything that's coming to you. So.
Also, Kuni, bro, I know what you're saying, bro. Yeah, especially as from a black guy to a black guy, it's even worse dealing with anger problems.
Can I don't know how much you thought about this, but can I ask a question?
Yeah.
And is it okay to talk about race?
Yeah, no, for sure. I want to talk about it, but
my question, especially because I obviously have black friends and things like that. What is your opinion on the stereotypical narrative of the quote unquote, because I do media, I did a lot of media work.
Okay.
The angry black character. What is your opinion on that? I genuinely want to know your take on it.
I experience it and I see close friends deal with it firsthand. In a professional in the competing space as well, and I absolutely hate it. And there's this thing called liberal racism as well. Have you heard of liberal racism?
Yeah.
Do you guys know what liberal racism is? Yes. Okay, that's good. That's good. No. All right. So basically, liberal racism is I'll give you an example. It's basically telling a racially abused victim how to behave as someone who is not related to their race. So if I was a victim of racism and my white friend would tell me how to behave or tell me what to do or tell me to calm down or whatever like that, it is a big red flag that most black people don't realize. And a lot of black people have white friends, and it happens to a lot of them when they deal with racism, and they tell them to calm down, this and that, it's okay, and when they should be really and truly fighting against it. And basically in esports it's a lot worse because fighting back as a black person can lose you your entire job. It pains me to say it and pains me to think about it as well, because it's very, very fucking risky. Because there's not a lot of there's very, very few black pros. There's only one black pro that I know, 2 black academy players who are one in NA, one in EU, and one of the Valorant pro player that I know is pretty famous as well. But and the fact that racism is so large to the point where it's I one time in Unrated, I've told a lot of my friends before. One time in Unrated where my name was just Naduri. I was playing really good in the game. They were asking about me, who I was before I started streaming properly. They just like asked me for my Discord or whatever, and I didn't want to share my Discord at the time, so I just said my Instagram. I took my Instagram and I immediately just dropped the M-bomb on me. And I was furious at the time. I treated it as if it was like in IRL. But for my opinion, it's a topic that is yet to be discovered properly because there's not enough black people in esports. There are a lot of racist people, even in competitive play, that will say shit behind your back, that will share it in a server that you are in. I've been in a team where I can't even be that mad about this one, because there are people that exist where they believe saying the N-word is fine if they don't use it in a negative way. Those people being Caucasian and European and whatnot. But that I can't be mad about it. That's just their lack of knowledge. And yeah, if someone was to be racist to me, IRL, I'd lose my shit. But if this was online, if I was a competitive player, I'd still lose my shit. But the chance of me losing my job for losing my shit, or just throwing a keyboard at a guy's face or something like that,
you have to be so
it'll be gone.
aware
my job
of
will be gone.
how you react to it, and that's what pisses me off. When I was in Apex, I have a lot of I have quite a few black content creators, but they have to be so careful of how they respond to things or how they communicate, because of the stereotypes, that the way that they're reacting is way is like exaggerated just because of their skin color. Whereas if it was someone who had that essentially privilege of that whole kind of, what I mean, don't you?
Yeah.
Who had the same reaction, it wouldn't be as big of a deal, and that's what pisses me off about that. Because what can you do to help that?
The fact that it's all on the internet and everyone can just say whatever the fuck they want while feeling safe about it. Like, they can just say anything, Well, they'll never say IRL because they'll know that you got done fucked up. If it was IRL,
Yeah.
if you say the same shit that you say in your unrated or ranked games to the same person or like to someone of similar color outside, who knows what happened to you? That's mainly because they will act out in it and they will call you out and make you take accountability for it. But you knowing that you can run away from the accountability and responsibility makes you look like more of a little child than a child itself. Like it's generally fucked up. But Naduri, would you fight them? Honestly, like it would genuinely piss me off if
We do not
no one holds me
encourage
back.
physical violence on this Twitch channel.
No, I don't encourage it to anyone. I genuinely don't encourage anyone to fight. But if it was IRL and no one's there to hold me back, I'm genuinely gonna fight. But that's just
when you're
me
in a
outside
space
of
with
my
this
Twitch
sort of
life.
platform,
Out my platform. But
even being like I don't know, it upsets me how careful black creators have to be in comparison to white creators and how they respond to certain things or certain attacks when they're more of a risk purely because of the skin that they're in, of hate crimes, hate raids, people just dropping, incredibly historically charged words in an attempt to get a reaction.
yeah,
And when they get said reaction that they're looking for, you're the one in trouble for it, or you're the one that suffers. More so, and it's like, hang on, you've already put the knife in.
And it's not
why
even,
are you twisting it?
It's not even like the people who are like against you or in any way. It's also as a black person, the people on your team as well. If you're in a competitive team as a black person, and things are going wrong in your scrims, or for example, or whatever, or there happens to be some sort of mechanical issue in your gameplay, or like there's an argument going on.
Yeah,
it's like there will be a time where there it's very common for someone to say, "Hold up, chill, you're being way too aggressive right now." What have I said wrong?
That's such a microaggression.
That's what have I said wrong? Is it the way it's the way I speak, isn't it? Or like it's the way I look as well that genuinely
and people
that genuinely makes you think that I'm gonna come across as aggressive to you. Or like it's genuinely the fact that it rarely happens to me because I'm very soft spoken and I don't really I'm like the least. I wouldn't have fly. I'm the least dangerous person, but
you're not confrontational. Would you say?
I would be
even
confrontational.
Then, that word I don't like that word.
But like I wouldn't.
You know what I mean?
I wouldn't be. I'm not seen as scary. I'm not as a black guy. Surprisingly, that's just it. That's just really it.
Yeah.
But
no, I get that.
Take along someone else. Like for example. When it happens to them, it's genuinely it fucks it up more for them when you're saying when you're saying them more when they're saying they're being aggressive.
Yeah,
it makes it worse for them as well. Like it's genuinely fucked.
Oh God.
But yeah, it's bad. Yeah. It's bad, but it's not as common. It's not as common. But when it does happen, it's career ending. If
I hate that.
If it happens to a black guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I didn't want to open
and also there's a reason why I never really say the N-word on Twitch or to my online friends or anyone else that isn't black, for example. It's because I want my chat to be a safe place for everyone to speak and to just hang around with. Yeah. I don't want anyone to say it in the chat, even if you are black. You saying it can have a new person read it and think, oh, okay, so this is the type of chat that we can use as well. Like, I just don't want to carry that on, and I just want it to be like a very safe community as much as I really stress it. But I don't really say it around unless I'm with my black friends, or like unless I'm around black people, or like IRL or off stream, this and that. Yeah. Sorry. I wanna read the chat. Is that right? B. You just.
Yeah, I do need to go.
Oh no, that's fine.
But thank you so much for having me. I'll be in chat for a little bit longer. But thank you so much for having me. Thank you to everyone for being so receptive to the conversation.
Thank you for being a guest, genuinely.
And for
You've been great.
insinuating that I'm a lot smaller than I actually am. I appreciate you. Yeah, and just be safe, stay hydrated, stay healthy, and yeah, just be mindful of how you speak to people, because it's just, we're all humans at the end of the day, and you, you know,
Best.
what do you get out? Yeah, what do you get out of being horrible to someone? They're not going to help. It's not going to improve them in the game you're in. But thank you for being so receptive, everybody, and thank you, Nads, for being so welcoming.
B, no, thank you for joining. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot.
I enjoyed the conversation. I enjoy
the platform also gave me a reason to speak as well, and I learned a lot personally.
Yeah. And if anybody has any questions or wants to discuss the whole situation kind of further, feel free to reach out to me. To me, or join Nance's Discord or whatever.
Yeah,
be open to conversation. So thank you so much. I will be in chat for a little bit longer, but I will need to go. All right.
I'll see you in chat, B.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you. But yeah, damn, man, honestly. Sorry, you said this is the best podcast I've had so far? You think? I should definitely have more women on here then.